I'm coming to you live today from my bed. I It seemed like an extremely good idea
Yeah, it does.
before I did it. And
Oh,
now it's really it actually every step of the way I realized more and more how bad of an idea it was.
you're getting
Um
CP.
no, well yeah,
Oh,
actively yes, very much so. But that was just a base level, like I knew that would be part of it. But like I mean, I'm barely breathing now because my webcam is so precarious and every time I like breathe, I move up and down.
no, it's like we're all just sitting on your tummy, and we just get to be a
I
part
can't
of. It's like we just get
see,
to
like,
sit
this
there
is
like a
not
teddy
gonna
bear.
work. I can't just have this, like, fucking vibrating the whole time. People are
Do you
gonna
have one of those
freak.
trays, like when you're sick and your mom would bring you soup trays?
Literally, I do,
To
and
get it.
that's what it's on.
Oh, that
But the
doesn't make
problem
sense.
well, it's because the webcam is, like, balanced onto my laptop, so it, like, wobbles.
Uh,
So maybe I just need to switch it. That's
tape.
what I'll after the intro, I'm gonna pause and then switch but not pause, but I'm gonna switch cameras. So just FYI, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're about to throw up from motion sickness, I promise I will change it. So it's not wobbling. But anyway, sorry. What were we talking about?
Nothing at all.
Oh, good. I'm also neurodivergent in case you can't tell everybody.
We're
Welcome to
just
our
different
podcast.
types. We're just different
we just
types.
we're two paths that diverged in a wood.
Oh, and neurodiverged.
Neurotically. They
Neurodiverged in a
neurodiverged
wood.
in a wood.
Um,
So
uh, Today is going to be a chaotic episode. If you can't tell, the energy is really all over the
I
place.
had to apologize to you before we both apologized to each other before the recording even began, and we both went, "Oh boy, just things are weird today."
Yeah. We're already 20 minutes behind because of my doing. And then Christine, apologized before I even got on, saying, "I'm so sorry," just because of the energy. My hair should indicate that it's going to be a wild ride today
You look like
because
a
I
Who
just
from
seem
Whoville.
to be. Vasu, vasu. I don't know the rest of
Dahudo. Okay, I do know the words, but I did look them up
it.
on azlyrics.com, so that was cheating.
Yeah. No, I don't know what's going on. The energy is crazy. I'm finally back in Los Angeles. The fires are currently not near me. So that all the more reason to record right now.
Did you do an intro for the last one about it? I didn't hear it, so I wasn't sure. And so that everybody texted like on our team being like, "Oh, maybe Emma or Christine could do an intro about the fires because we recorded that episode before the fires had started." And
Mm.
I was like, "Well, I'm certainly not in a position to be like making big statements about the fire. I'm the only one who's not on the West Coast." So I just like ignored the message and I was like, "I hope someone did it. I don't know."
No, I did it. I mean, no, it's I'm very lucky. Obviously, I came back, so our house is pretty safe, knock on wood. But yeah, we've had some people actually. Kirk, I already told you
Mm.
this. Kirk, who made our logo, him and his wife lost their home.
My God,
I saw a
it's
picture of it. I mean, it's gone. It's like really
he
wild.
does all our tour. He helped started like our tour logo too. That main tour
Here for
logo.
the
Here
booze,
for the
all of
booze.
the tour stuff. Yeah. So it's
He's such a good guy. That is just
he has a GoFundMe. Maybe we'll post the GoFundMe.
yeah, yeah. And I actually have. I know we've already posted some resources, but I found a couple good ones today that I was looking through. That were kind of like underrepresented ones too that I can also
Mhm.
add after that. But yeah, that would be great. And if you send that to me too, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, yeah. So a lot of people are going through it, and I am very lucky to not be there currently. We are supposed to have more wins today, which who knows what that means, but currently we're okay. Are
good.
you still snowed in at your place?
It's
I was snowed
just
in Virginia.
yeah, it was 3 degrees this morning.
Oh
Yeah.
my
This is
god.
why I'm in bed. Well, that's one of the reasons. But yeah, so now you know, if anyone needed more reasons for me to be horizontal in my flannel sheets today, it's because in my flannel sheets, that sounds like a lumberjack like erotica. Um
It does. Join me on my tummy in my flannel sheets.
will wobble up and down as as I laugh at M's
Hey girl,
jokes.
wobbling up and down sounds probably part of the fanfic for
That's
sure.
what I'm
So
saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, yeah, things we had these snowstorms, but you know, the fires obviously are like devastating. And it's really freaky to just I like put on the news alerts like as if I were a local basically, and I was like, I need to turn these off because I'm not even there, but I'm like getting, hyper fixated, and it's just like at a certain point you have to step back.
Yeah.
But yikes.
So many of my friends in Richmond, they like lost water for several days. So it's like,
Oh, in the snow
um,
storms. Yeah.
yeah. And so they were just like, I not being able to flush their toilets or shower or
Yeah.
like, yeah. Anyway, it was, sounded
Did you
not
hear
good.
about the Octavia Butler? So
Mm-mm.
Octavia Butler is so our man I had a call with our manager Maggie this morning, and she mentioned this on the call, and I like got into a deep dive on it between that call and this recording. Octavia Butler is like widely known as like the first uh major, I guess the right word is major black female science fiction writer.
Mhm.
And in the 90s, she wrote they were called like the Parables series, and she wrote the Sower's Parable, and it was about the year. There's literally a diary entry in it, February 1st, 2025, and it says there was a fire in Los Angeles today, and it's like basically what happens is the city of Los Angeles like burns, and then
Come on.
a despot takes control of the country as president, and he wants to make America great again. And like granted, so she died before he ever took office, obviously. Well, I did not
Well, she
obviously.
already knows how it goes. She didn't have to be here.
Yeah, no,
So,
literally. And apparently Ronald Reagan said that originally. So that's where she had gotten it. But it's just
mm,
really unsettling because you're reading like, oh, Los Angeles is burning to the ground. And she lived in like next to Altadena in like Pasadena area, but spent a lot of time there. So it's like, so there's actually a bookstore there called Octavia's Bookshelf, I think. Or
yes.
yeah, that one. That's named after her.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh, okay.
And so I guess right now they're
We've
doing a lot
actually,
of
what's funny is sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, there's a lag. I'm sorry. I think I was just behind the lag. I'm sorry.
Shit, there's a lag.
Please stand by. We have to step away.
Well, why do you drink this week besides AT&T or
My
whatever,
God.
Verizon or whatever the fuck you have?
I don't know how much of that got in, but yeah, we're having some internet issues, so you know, prepare.
Oh my God, this is already just insane. Em like fired our editor because we
No.
imagined a whole scenario in our heads where he blamed us for the tech problems, and then I got defensive, and then Em fired him, and then we said just kidding, and now we're like, anyway, Jack, figure out what goes in and what doesn't. So
Yeah,
we
good
really
luck.
give him all the power. Uh anyway, go ahead, Em. I'm sorry.
Okay, I have a chaotic thing. I don't know how you react, but stick with me until the very end
Okay.
before you have a reaction.
Oh, is this your story already?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were already starting your bit, and I was like, wait, wait,
No.
wait.
I like that
Okay.
it's a bit. Thank you. Not, not my fucking
This
job.
recurring bit that you won't stop. It's like you insist on doing the same bit every week, and it's getting
Yeah,
old.
I know. Okay. So, hang on. Hang on.
I knew I went to bed for a reason. Okay, go ahead. Wait, is that real? No.
Yes.
That's a real tattoo?
Yes. So, before you
Shut the fuck up.
it was an impulsive decision
I'm
and it has
so
made me
happy.
have Oh, okay. I thought we were going to get defensive quickly.
No, I'm so happy. I've always wanted you to get a tattoo.
So it has given me opinions on a tattoo with you. I do want one with you about
Well,
the
tell us now what's happening. What? Tell me, or I guess tell the story however you want. But I
Okay.
can't tell.
It's
Well,
my
I can't
bit.
see. Will you just finish the bit so we can move on? No.
So,
I can't see
okay.
your. It's a card because it's cropped, so I can't even really
Right,
see
right,
it.
right. No, I'm just touching it at this
Oh,
point.
okay, okay.
No, but it's a piece of lettuce which um
Cute. What does it mean? It's beautiful. It's like bright green.
yeah, I told them I was like if I'm going to do this it has to be vibrant, so I give a shit
Did you know
about it.
Blaze has his first tattoo was a bright green tattoo on his bicep also?
That's
He got
lovely.
that
Oh my God, did he get
chupacabra.
a piece of lettuce?
And we
Oh.
got a chupacabra, which honestly, if I had to guess who would get what,
Yeah,
it would be
right?
switched, right? Isn't that weird?
Oh,
But
trust
anyway.
me, when I told my mom, she was like, "Of all the things, you got a piece of fucking lettuce."
A
Like that.
vegetable, M?
Yeah. So it's a matching tattoo with Tanner, with my cousin.
Oh, that's
Um,
cute.
it's like an inside joke with us. I don't want to bore everybody, but how do I say it? The succinct version is that when he and I were a lot younger, I went with him to his spring break, and at his spring break, he got very drunk. We had a conversation about lettuce. It just became a thing.
That's so cute. Okay.
And so he and I were recently hanging out, and he said something like, "Oh yeah, that weekend was the first time I realized I didn't just want to be your cousin; I wanted to be your friend."
Stop.
And so,
Get out of here.
so that was, and he caught me in an impulsive moment. And I was like, "We've got a
That's
30-minute window to
dangerous.
do
He
this."
knew it too. He saw it in your eyes.
He had to have.
Yeah.
But so now we both have I gave him 10 options for lettuce, and he picked this one. So
That's a good one. I love that. You gave him 10 options. Wow, Em, I'm so proud of you. You know, it's crazy. There's someone else in my life. I don't want to like call them out. They literally texted me yesterday and said, like, don't freak out, but I think I'm going to get a tattoo. And I was like, what? I mean, I'm talking like totally surprised me. So this is like 2 people in a row. I don't know. I told you the energy's weird this week. Something's off.
Mercury is, I don't know, getting a tattoo, and so am I. So,
Mercury's having an impulsive moment, and she needs to like rein it in.
but it was a very sweet moment.
That's beautiful. Did that hurt? That looks like it hurt with
like
the
a
color.
bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, like comparatively to something else. I just know that as everyone always told me, oh, it's just gonna feel annoying. It felt like I never felt like the ba 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 of the tattoo needle.
Yeah.
I just felt like someone was taking an X-Acto knife and carving into me. That's what it fucking felt like.
I mean,
and
it is really high up on your bicep, I feel like. I feel like that's a very sensitive spot.
It was.
I got my moth there, and like when she got to the upper part, I was like, this is very uncomfy.
Yeah, there were some moments where I was like, okay, this is fine, and then there were other parts where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like this is my first and last.
Yeah, Blaze is really hurt too, and he got like a green one on his bicep. So I wonder if that's part of it.
And there's one part
not
that's
the green, but I don't know, maybe.
There are parts that he like really, really colored into, and so like they got like a weird scab on them, which I don't like.
Yeah, the scabbing is freaky because that happened to me for the first time with mine, the big one I have, because it's like so shaded, and I think my other ones have all been just lines. And Blaze's was also the colored, and he's like, they just went over it and over it and over it, and it like scab. Yeah, I think his really hurt too.
Anyway, there were moments where I was like, I can say I've done it and I'm never doing it again. But I can do it one more time eventually with you, Fern, and that's why we drink themed one. But I don't know if any more will be before or after that. I think I've got 2 in me, and that's it.
I'm so proud of you, and not in like a condescending way. I just mean like,
Oh.
no, I don't mean it in a condescending way. Like, oh, I'm so proud of you and all your like blah blah blah. I just mean like, this is so exciting.
Thank you. Well, I was worried you were gonna
No,
I don't know.
Gosh.
I don't know what I was thinking.
No.
But anyway, that's why I drink, because I got a tattoo.
I just honestly never believed you would. Like,
me
like,
either.
Sincerely.
But that's why I literally my next therapy session afterwards was like, I did something out of character, and so
honestly, that's exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it now, but it's stuck on me now, so nothing I can do about it now. But
I love it. It's like cute and like vague enough and like fun. I don't know.
The meaning's at least nice.
Yeah.
And also, if I don't like it, my t-shirt covers it up pretty perfectly.
Oh, see? Yeah, perfect.
So but also it makes more sense on Tanner because he's a private chef, so like lettuce makes fucking sense on him.
So
it's like
people
an
aren't
ingredient.
even gonna ask. They're gonna be like, "That's your crudité." Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
anyway,
god.
so that's
what I
why
thought
I
it
drank.
was. I literally thought it was a celery vase at first.
Oh, that'd be
I'm
lovely.
not
My
even
mom
kidding.
thinks it's a feather. She keeps calling it her feather, and I'm like, ooh.
Ugh, her feather.
Does it sound like her flower?
Tail feather. Ew, Anne, that's so much
Doesn't
worse.
it? It's disgusting.
Her feather. Oh no. Oh no.
Anyway,
this is like the time Eva got a tattoo, and then you kept saying like, you kept calling it dirty. And then we just couldn't stop thinking about it as being dirty. And Eva had it for an hour, and we were all just like, hey, your tattoo. And making inside jokes about her tattoo, which is like
Look,
so
Eva,
beautiful and poignant, but like also just sounds so dirty when you can't stop thinking about it.
I feel like, okay, I'm not the only one who could have possibly thought it sounds dirty.
No, and that's why it like really caught on.
But Eva certainly has earned the right to say whatever she wants about my stupid lettuce feather arm for the rest of time.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna be thrilled. Have you told her yet or no?
No.
Okay.
I worry the two of you are going to start trying to get me into tattoo parlors while we're on the road again. So I'm telling you now as a blanket statement.
That I play the long game, right? Like this was a step in my plan all along.
I guess so. You were like
pulling the strings.
You did the thing that like, oh, if I ignore it, then it'll happen.
That's exactly it, because that's how it works with my toddler. So I figured it works with you too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it worked. Well done.
Fantastic. I'm so excited about this new development. It's like a new you.
I eventually do want to get the boo buddies, the ghosty guys with you.
Our ghosty guys. Yeah, that's from the
if
logo
you
that
want
Kirk
that.
made. Aw.
Yeah.
What if we get okay. Okay, I'm going off the rails.
Here we go.
Never
Okay.
mind. Relax, everybody. Take a deep breath.
Are you
I'm
saying
talking
that
to myself.
yourself?
Yeah,
All your personalities.
I'm talking to all of you in there. That's just to me.
Anyway, so that's why I drink. And why do you drink?
Wow. Okay. Well, who knew I'd have so many reasons. I drink because it's 3 degrees out. My whole body honestly hurts because of the weather, I think, because I'm old. Like, I don't know.
Oh.
Because it's like I was walking up the stairs and I was like, why do my knees ache? And then I was like, oh no, this used to happen to my mom. Like when it was really cold, like her joints would hurt. And I was like, oh, fuck my life. So everything kind of hurts today and it's 3 degrees out. And I literally got my pregnancy pillow out so I could like lay in a certain way. And so I'm just kind of like in pain. And I was like, there's something happening to my head. Anyway, turns out it's a headache. I never get I never get headaches unless it's raining.
And then my stomach ached. Now hold on, it was a stomach ache.
You'll never guess. I seriously, I was like, there's something wrong with me. And Blaze is like, it's a headache. And I was like, I don't like it. It's not fun.
I am such a baby when it comes to my head.
Oh gosh, I just can't focus. I'm like this, and I feel so terrible because then I'm like, people with migraines, man, you people are. I don't know how
you do it.
But it's like how you say like, oh, when you get a stomach ache, it's like, and I'm the same way about stomach aches because I never get stomach aches unless I'm like in an active flare up. So if I get a stomach ache, I'm like, I'm dying, and it's just so annoying.
No, if it's a head or it's a stomach thing, when I get sick, my throat is like patient zero. Like I feel like I am so used to my throat hurting.
Yeah.
And at this point I can rock a sore
really
throat all the
I can't
time.
Stand it. It's like my
but that's how
nightmare.
like you can handle a stomach thing, and I couldn't
I guess that's
possibly
true.
do
Fair
it.
point. Yeah.
But that and head stuff, I there's just no getting around it. I'm a miserable person to be around if either of those hurt.
Yeah. So I'm just being a baby today, and then Blaze was like, I'm gonna take a nap, and I was like, oh, okay. And so now he's sleeping in his office.
That poor guy. He's like,
He's
anything
fine.
to shut out reality.
There's a futon in there. Oh, and then what happened was I took them. This all seemed like a good idea until it was such a bad idea that I had already committed to it, and it would be worse if I got up and tried to reverse it. I was like, I went past the point of no return. And so then I was like holding the like metal stand of the microphone like in my lap while laying down, and it just wasn't working.
Been there.
Yeah, right?
Been there.
Like, that balancing act, and then it kept clanging. So then I was like, oh, I'll just hold the microphone. But then I took all the screws out and they all just scattered to the wind in my bed. And I was like trying to find little like washers that just are now loose. And so they're just around.
That's great. That sounds exactly like what I know you to do.
It feels like we're back at talk about patient zero. It feels like we're back at episode 1 of And That's Where We Drink, but like just the same old bullshit,
You know what's pretty actually disgusting about you is the fact that you can lie there in bed at this angle and not have a double chin.
No, I'm so insecure.
Sickening.
I've been staring at myself because you can see all my neck wrinkles.
I'm sitting upright and I have a double chin, and you're lying
Look
there?
how my neck wrinkles.
This is how I would look. And you look like that? Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, but there's gonna
so
be no,
mean.
because now someone's gonna screenshot like the worst moment of this episode. When
it'll be this
16. It'll be you. Look how bad Christine looks on her. Oh wait, no, that's him. No.
Yeah, I know. It's really mean that you can just do that.
So silly. I put on makeup because I knew I would be horizontal, and I was like, it's not really a flattering.
Did
situation.
You contour your neck for
yes,
this
I
episode?
sure did. I did contour my jaw, and also, I have Dolph here. This is Moonshine's mommy. He thinks it's his mommy, but it is always like the perfect neck pillow. You know when you need just like the perfect thing behind your head, and so it's really unfortunate because then he stands up here and he just starts like suckling on Dolph, who's then behind my head.
Looks like he's just sucking on your hair.
Yeah, it's really
Yuck.
well, he does because then it gets in the way. So then I have to like throw Dolph across the room. And anyway,
Ugh.
so if Moonshine appears, I will have to get rid of Dolph, and then my neck will really be telling a story. So don't worry about
Ugh.
it. I
Which
won't be looking great in a few
I should
moments.
also mention, if you hear barking, we're dog sitting and
Oh my gosh, yes. Or it's Geo.
or it's Geo. Yeah, this time you'll never know, I
We'll
guess.
never know.
But this dog, her favorite thing to do in the world is to just look me dead in the eyes and go, and all that like hot fishy breath just hits me
Ew.
in the
And
face.
by the way, she's a Great Dane and she's beautiful, everybody.
She's a big girl.
She's just like the most precious little thing. I mean, giant.
Her eyes
thing.
are rolled in the back of her head right now. So I think
She's,
we're
like,
safe from
leaving
barking
out of it.
currently. That's what she's gonna look like when you tell a joke, for sure.
I thought that's what you were saying, and then I realized you were saying she's asleep, but I was like, okay, Jesus, sorry, dog. I wasn't like, I'm sorry that M is like judging your humor level.
Well, just in case you make a joke, I'm gonna refer to this dog instead, so I get away with it. Okay.
Oh man.
What are you drinking?
Well, I fear to drink anything at this position because I do have a lot
Spit?
of not even spit, really, just a lot of electronics in my lap, and I'm not vertical, so it's like, but I just have my water here.
So yeah,
and
what are you holding next to you?
here- Oh my god. And there's my Bigfoot sticker from Lisa. So it's just an old ass Stanley cup.
It's currently in the wash. I planned on drinking out of it, and then it had to get washed first. But I got a surprise in the mail today. Did you know about this?
Yeah, it's my idea.
Of course, it was your
Well,
idea.
Eva like did all the hard work parts of it and was also creative team director and said that's a good idea. So she gets a lot of the most 99% of the credit. But yes, I did say Stanley cups.
We'll post a picture somewhere, and maybe just in the corner of the screen or something too. But yeah, I came home from Virginia to a Stanley. I've never had a Stanley before, and
You're one of those girls now.
I am
Eva had never had one either. So Eva was like, "Can we send them to ourselves?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we
So
all
not
had them
only-
sent to ourselves.
It's a black Stanley, and it has like the iridescent oil spill kind of color.
It's called chroma.
Of course. And
I
a
picked
little
that
birdie
too, and I said
named
that.
Christine
I said that's for him.
had it engraved in chroma to say "Drink up, M," with the image of a rat.
Yeah.
Is
And by the way, I
beautiful.
submitted this SVG file of this rat, like a stock free whatever photo, copyright free photo, and I was like, "Here, Eva, try this one." And then like it came and it was so gigantic, and I was like, I didn't think the rat would take up like half the cup.
the rat is half the cup for sure.
But like the Stanley
love it.
website was down when we were trying to order them, so she and I just were like on the phone like refreshing, and you were in Virginia, so I was like, Eva, let's figure this out and we'll just surprise everyone. And then we were so frustrated. Eva found a creator on Etsy who makes them by hand, which was even like cooler. And yeah, so they picked we picked like half and half the chroma ones, and then like I think red ones. I forget what, I don't know, but it was so what it was a staff gift for our staff. Even I were like, we want them too. It's just like so lame. I'm so lame.
What did the ones for the staff say?
So
It's not also "Drink up, M" with a rat, is it?
It's not M.
Oh,
it says
okay.
"Drink up."
And then-
Katie, Megan, Jack,
It's beautiful.
Saoirse, and then Christine and Eva and M. But Eva had not had a Stanley before, and then she literally screenshot that she bought one, like a Olivia Rodrigo one right afterward, and I was like, "You are the worst person to introduce to a fandom besides me and M, because
100%.
just the money goes straight out the window. It's so hard to resist."
Well, so are you also responsible for the accessories?
No, that was an all Eva situation.
That was a delicious call because
I mean, that was fun.
so it's sitting here so I can put my Stanley
And
in
it
it.
changed
Like,
my life, by the way.
you got like this little it
has
hangs
like a
and it's got
backpack now.
it holds your phone, your credit cards, your or your sunglasses,
Your vape,
keys.
your disposable vape.
It holds everything, and it holds the Stanley. So
And
anyway,
okay, so have you seen, so I was actually just watching a YouTuber who does like critiques of TikTok trends and stuff, and she did one on on Stanley like fandoms, and it's like the rage bait videos where people are like,
Oh,
like,
yes.
get my Stanley back to school ready. And it's like, what the fuck? And then it's like, here's its 3 crayons. It needs some
Yes.
loose leaf paper. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, it's so like rage inducing that it's like, I think these people some people are just like duping us. But there are some like wild folks with these Stanley things. I mean, I have 2 of them now. And I'm like, Blaze is already like one more
Well,
and the first goes out the window, so
I
don't
almost
think.
got the Elphaba one for Wicked.
Now
And
that
then
is,
and
I almost
didn't.
bought that for you, but then I was like, oh, everybody bought it because there was like a brawl at Target over it, and people were like punching each other. It's like,
I probably threw the first
I
punch.
thought I saw your lettuce tattoo bicep kind of come
just
through the
came
screen.
swinging in, just one leaf floating by. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
one leaf, one feather. I saw Linda's feather on TV.
Anyway,
I was
this is
watching
where
Cinemax and I saw Linda's feather.
You're sick. You're almost as dirty as Eva's tattoo.
Oh, that's saying something.
No, anyway, so this is where I give you my official thank you because I did not expect to open that when I got home, and
I'm
was
so
delicious.
glad it got to you finally. I was so worried that like it would just end up like, I don't know, in some storage. I don't know. I didn't know if it would like get to you, so I'm glad.
No, we luckily have neighbors who have been taking in all of our mail. We owe them quite a lot.
Oh,
of
nice.
pastries.
And I've probably mailed you so much shit. If I had known that, I probably would not have mailed you so much shit. But
it's fine.
Oops.
No. So anyway, I planned on drinking out of that, but since I don't have that, I will be drinking my LD.
Nice.
And I'm ready to tell you my story. It is one I worked quite hard on. I think this one I actually worked twice as hard on as I usually work on stories.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
My usual time, it usually takes like 8 hours to like
That's
get
kind of-
all of the notes.
Which is so weird because I know we do notes so complete. Like, I mean, you and I do them completely differently, but I've always averaged at about like 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one was double that probably. So I think just
Whoa.
because there was so much.
That's why I like to do like Jeffrey Dahmer part 1 and 2, and then it's like, aha, I tricked everybody into letting me do all that work for 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it were like a ghost story, unfortunately for those who like the ghost stories, this is not one of those. If it were able
Imagine
to be a
how
part 1,
pissed off everyone is when they've listened through all of this bullshit.
I know.
And then they're like, wait, what?
they just take their finger and drag to you. I mean, not the first rodeo, I'm sure.
It's a new year. It's time to refresh, okay? We're all trying to simplify. We're trying to just get back to our roots. Or are we not? That's just me. I don't know. This is why I resolved to refresh my wardrobe with quality pieces and stay on budget. And that's what I'm doing thanks to Quince. I have worn this sweatshirt that I'm wearing right now to, I think, most, like 60% of our live shows.
And we've talked about our matching Mongolian cashmere sweaters.
Right. Of course. Yes, that as well.
However you choose to refresh your look this year, all Quince pieces are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And they're able to do that by partnering directly with top factories, cutting out the cost of the middleman and passing the savings on to you.
I had lunch with my mom today, and she's like, I really like this new website I found, Quince. And I was like, don't you dare. I was like, don't even act like I haven't told you about that 400 times. And I stood up and I was like, we were in a restaurant.
Did you do a spin?
I did a spin. I was like, it's all Quince. Thank you very much.
Fashion show at lunch, literally.
Fashion show at lunch. I literally did one, thanks to Quince. So upgrade your closet this year without the upgraded price tag. Go to quince.com/drink for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/drink to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/drink.
All right, it is 3 degrees out at my house, and Juniper thinks he's an outdoor cat, and then he like steps 1 foot outside and goes, ah! And I'm like, yep, see, it's cold, okay? Every cat this time of year is an indoor cat, all right? For good reason. And when it's freezing outside, I'm an indoor human, and I'm very good at it, okay? The last thing any of us indoor creatures wants to smell is the indoor litter box.
When I was just home for the last month at my mom's house, I discovered that my room, when I'm gone, is the cat litter room.
Oh, good. I have a perfect gift for Linda's birthday. It's called Pretty Litter.
Pretty Litter does give you a peace of mind. It changes color to indicate early signs of potential illnesses in your cat, like urinary tract infections, kidney issues. Pretty Litter ships free right to your door. And my mom, you, all of my cat friends out there, you don't have huge kitty litter bags taking
Oh
up the
my gosh.
space.
Oh, I can't stand it. So getting it right to the door is huge. And also it's non-clumping.
Indoor cats and indoor humans agree. Pretty Litter helps our houses smell fresh and clean. So go to prettylitter.com/ATWWD to save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy.
That's prettylitter.com/ATWWD to save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/ATWWD. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
This is a conspiracy theory, which many people have been saying they want more conspiracy theories.
Well,
So
now I'm
for
really
those people,
listening.
for the other people who are mad that it's not a ghost story, I hope people who want a conspiracy theory are happy. It's always going to be 50% of you are happy. So here
Maybe
we go.
I'll tell a ghost story. Nobody knows.
Oh shit. You know, I actually found a story that is half true crime and half ghost story, and I don't know which one of us should handle it.
Oh, I love those though. Those are like some of the best. Maybe we should do like a special episode where we both cover it. We've never done that before.
Where we do half the work each.
Oh,
No.
actually, hang on. And then let's do part 1 and part 2.
Yes, exactly.
We'll quarter
You're
the
onto
work.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Denver Airport conspiracy theories.
Now I cannot wait for I don't think I ever even knew if you would do this or not, because I was like, I don't know if that's like in M's like wheelhouse or if they would want to.
Why, surely
I'm so
I
thrilled.
would.
I'm so thrilled.
So up until learning about all this, my favorite fun fact about the Denver Airport, because I pass through the Denver Airport so often.
Yeah, I bet.
Eva and I both do, because we usually fly out of our neighborhood airport instead of LAX, because if you're a local, nobody likes LAX.
And it's just such a pain in the ass, yeah.
It's a nightmare. And so we usually fly out of Burbank, and if you're flying out of Burbank, there's always a layover. It's very rare you're lucky to get a straight
small
shot.
airport, yeah.
And one of the
They fly to
top
like
three,
Austin because it's like Austin Film Fest and shit like that. Yeah.
one of the top 3 layover spots are Denver, and it's always Concourse B. So Concourse B of Denver Airport and I
You're
know
like
each other
triggering me
very
so
well.
aggressively right now saying Concourse B. Please keep it down. I can't stand this. My tension headache. Oh my god.
If there was an airport with and specifically a concourse, I don't even have to wonder about food when I land in Denver. I know
That's
exactly
funny,
every
yeah.
single gate, blah 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 blah. And so my fun fact up until this set of notes was that my favorite spot to travel to during a layover is Denver Airport B54, because
Ooh.
that is where the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory is, and that's where I get my candy apples.
Okay. I thought you were going to say because like there's some underground tunnel there that entrance.
No, it's just because I want
like there's
caramel
fudge.
apple. Every time, because we always end up in like the B30s, and if I have a long enough layover, I can walk the 20.
Yeah.
and
I know
then
how that feels. You have to like, and then you're like, oh, moving walkway. Oh my God, Lord, help me.
Yes.
You're really seriously setting me in a bad direction here. Spiral.
So
I knew I needed to be in bed.
If you happen to be in the Denver airport while you're listening to this, and you happen to be in Concourse B, if you were to wander over to Gate 54, you might see a caramel apple that has my name on it.
Oh my, NRPO box is.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
They're
my
gonna
favorite.
be like,
Okay.
we're gonna let's all do a thing where we like take a selfie there, and then we create like a whole new conspiracy about that particular storefront in the Denver airport.
This airport is is known to be weird as shit. So
Yeah.
why not just make it a thing that
I love it.
Maybe I can start getting discounts on my apples.
Yeah, now we're
Let's put it this
talking.
way. As someone who travels through the Denver airport a lot more than most people, I probably proportionally buy a lot more of their apples than anyone else.
Yeah, so
let's
they
just
better fucking watch out who they're messing with.
I'm owed is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
obviously.
You're in top tier.
So, as one of their top customers, here is the story of the Denver airport. So, fun fact, apparently Denver Airport is called DIA to people because it's Denver International Airport.
Okay.
So, I will be saying DIA. Even though the code for the
Yeah.
Denver Airport is DEN for Denver.
Okay, because I was like, that is not the. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Whatever.
fun fact, DIA. And now it's going to throw me every time I am flying through Denver. So, the DIA spans over 33,000 acres.
Whoa.
It is one of the largest airports in the world. Apparently, this one source told me, there is 1.5 million square feet of
Holy shit.
property. Because we are always flying through only Concourse B, I don't think it occurred to me that this has those kinds of stats. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was like that big of an airport.
Yeah, me neither.
The land alone makes it the second largest airport in the world, after the King Fahd International Airport in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my lord, the land alone. Wow.
And the land alone makes the Denver airport bigger than actual cities like San Francisco.
What?
Isn't that fucking crazy?
The property that the Denver airport sits on is bigger than the city of San. That's like mind-boggling.
That's
My head hurts again. I don't know what's
okay.
happening.
That's a headache, just so you know.
Oh shit. Okay, I was about to call Blaze from his nap and make him assess me.
So the DIA is also the third busiest airport in the world, with almost 70 million travelers passing through it per year.
And how many? I mean, I would say at least 10,000 of those are you. Like
And
statistically.
the other are apples.
Yep, that's what they say.
And so it was originally built for up to 50 million travelers per year. It is now hitting 70, and they're projecting by like 2030 it'll be 100 million travelers a year. So they are constantly trying to
anyone's
expand.
Even around, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So
at this point,
they're-
I'm not holding my breath.
So they're constantly trying to expand despite it already being so big.
What the fuck?
It is the largest airport in the country by area. It's 53 square miles and has the country's longest commercial use runway, which is apparently 16,000 feet long, or 3 miles long.
Okay, that puts it in perspective. Yeah, 3 miles. Holy shit.
And fun fact, that runway is 16R34L. In case
Oh my god, let's all go take a selfie in front of 16R.
Let's hold our apples on 16R34L.
We're gonna create like a whole scavenger. Well, there probably already are scavenger hunts for the Denver airport. Let's be real.
The last fun fact I have before I start with this is that Macaulay Culkin once tweeted, "The Denver airport is the scariest place I've ever been in my life."
Oh my god, and that's saying something, okay, guys?
And that's saying something. That guy
He's been around town.
He had to deal with 3 home invasions. Are you kidding me?
I mean, seriously.
As a child? Are you kidding me?
As a child, as a minor.
And he fended them off on his own, one time in New York City by himself.
Donald Trump
at, like,
was there.
10.
And a lady with so many
And a
pigeons.
pigeon lady. Oh my. He's been around the block.
He's a
you're right.
survivor, you know?
And the DIA said, "I'm no match for you."
Holy crap.
So let's just get right into some of the theories. The main conspiracy theory here is that it starts with the construction of the DIA.
Okay.
The airport was slated to open in 1993, but it didn't open until 18 months later in 1995. And that was already kind of weird. People were like, what's the delay? What's going on? It got even weirder when people found out, oh, there was also a slight over budget. We maybe spent 2 or 3 billion extra dollars.
What?
And we also don't totally want to disclose who is funding this.
Wait, billion with a B.
With a B.
Holy smokes. Okay. And we don't. Okay.
Yes. So,
I'm already
They were
in 110%. We all know I'm already in. I'm locked and loaded. Let's go.
So it was 2 years delayed. There was at least a $2 billion overspending, although some
Jesus.
sources say up to like $4.8 billion.
That's like the fact that we don't even know is weird, you know?
The people who were funding it were apparently a little hush-hush at some point. Also, of the construction, there was apparently a whistleblower who said, oh, I've been down there and this is what I saw. And apparently there are several stories of building underneath the ground full of tunnels and
That's-
allegedly bunkers.
Like so deeply unsettling.
Yeah, it's super scary. And on top of that, during the 2 years that it took to keep construction going, despite it should have already been done by now,
Mhm.
they kept firing construction crews and rehiring them.
See, that's always a sign.
And the thought is to make sure that nobody knows the true
Mhm.
full blueprint of what's down there.
Imagine it's like it feels like the Whaley House. Like just keep building shit, you know?
Yes.
Keep adding staircases and stuff.
And don't ask questions.
And don't ask
go
any
over here.
questions.
So many believe these tunnels are for nefarious reasons, obviously,
Mhm.
including Christine.
I wonder why. When is a
Uh,
tunnel not for nefarious? Well, I guess there are plenty, so I'm going to stop talking. I'm like,
Just like
There's-
to walk under a bridge.
just like to walk on a bridge, and also like a tunnel to like let a train in, you know, stuff like that.
Speaking of tunnels and bridges, I will say, if I were to get another tattoo, I would get the Fredericksburg skyline, which is known for its bridge.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I like that. And
Okay.
that won't hurt as much, that line tattoo.
Yeah, but I was thinking about it being colored in.
Oh,
Like
well, that'll
solid.
hurt. Yep.
That'll suck. Yeah. Anyway, so I probably won't do it. So many believe that this tunnel is for various reasons. People think that these could be bunkers for the elite. They could be hideouts for the government or a new world order.
I mean, for someone to have billions of dollars to fund it, yeah.
Yeah. And well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Yes, you're onto something. Bunkers for the elite, hideouts for the government. Maybe this is where extraterrestrials are. I mean, if this is an aircraft, an airspace.
They are rich as shit.
Or they could at least be
aliens.
in cahoots with military bases. Maybe this is where military bases are storing the bodies we keep hearing about
You're
with
so
the
scaring
aliens.
me. You're scaring under the fucking caramel apples. This is outrageous. I love this fucking story so much.
And keep in mind that, like, when I say, like, there are several stories below the airport, I mean, like, at the very least, we know of 6 layers of underground
That for sure.
of stories, like, not just like
Oh
a
my God,
a little
like
walk
full
down.
floors of.
Full floors.
Oh my lord.
Which also, since if nothing's going on down there, think of the theories alone just in back rooms.
Yes, I know, and it's like a labyrinth basically that's like untouched. I mean, ew.
There have been people on TikTok who have, like, found,
I've seen
like, have
that.
gone through a door and everything, and then they end up in the back rooms of the Denver airport.
And the
they're
guy
like,
did you see that guy? He's like, I haven't seen a person in like a quarter of a mile. He's like, I've just
Yeah.
been wandering and there's not been a single person or sign for my gate. Like, I'm just, oh,
there was
it's
one I
so
saw where he
scary.
was walking and the ceiling was getting lower.
Ugh,
Ugh.
ah.
I don't know why that freaked me out so much, but it sure did.
I just have full chills now after that.
Allegedly, nobody knew, again, who was funding this wild overspending. Some think it must be the Illuminati, or it's got to be some secret government, something, insert whatever secret thing here, that has enough money and power to be able to keep funding whatever's
Some like
going on.
Elon Musk bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it made no sense to people why an airport was being built on top of an already functioning airport, because what I didn't tell you yet is that before the Denver airport,
I almost asked.
there was the Stapleton International Airport.
Because you said 93. I was like, there's no way there was not an airport in Denver before that. Okay, so they built on top of it.
They built on top of an airport that already
What?
existed. And to the general public was a seemingly perfectly functional
They also built
airport.
underneath it, I think,
Yeah.
apparently.
They
On
actually
top
just
of it.
sandwiched
Just
it
like
with
smushed it.
So yeah, there was the Stapleton International Airport, and the story goes that people were baffled that they were even building a new airport, because why did they need that? So then
Yeah.
people are like, well, was there shady stuff going on at the Stapleton one that they need to demolish? Are they building, and are
Oh.
they building new? Or are they calling this new thing an airport and as an excuse for why there's all this concrete
I hadn't
construction
even thought
everywhere?
of that.
Where it's like, maybe it's not going to be an airport, or maybe it's just disguised as an
It's like a
airport and it's a
facade.
cover up.
Right.
Like, maybe we are building 6 stories below and we're just going to put an airport on top so nobody questions anything.
Yeah. Oh
You
my
know?
lord. And just make it accessible for 70 million people.
Yeah, exactly. So, realistically, as far as we know, at least, conspiracy theorists will say, well, who's to say? But allegedly, I guess I should say, the over budget was funded by the FAA, which is government money,
Right.
and the city of Denver. And if you ask the right people, they'll say, oh, well, the Stapleton International Airport, yes, to most people, it looked like a totally functioning airport, but it had like a desperate need for several improvements. We were constantly closing on the runway. We were having a lot of maintenance issues.
There's no Russell Stover or whatever restaurant that was you mentioned.
The chocolate factory.
Chocolate factory, yeah.
There's no apples. Like, people are freaking out.
Oh, it's really bad, actually.
There's a 1-year-old somewhere in 93 who needs an apple.
And we need $2 billion to make sure this gets funded.
Yeah. But so they were like, this just, people who weren't in the industry or who worked here had no idea that, like, we needed massive improvements. And it almost made sense to just start over.
Okay.
Because it was certainly not an airport meant to hold 50 million people, let alone coming up on double. So it's also odd, like I said, because there are several floors built underneath the airport that have seemingly no reason. In fact, when you look at the square footage of just the underground tunnels, it is almost 500,000 square feet.
Jesus.
470,000 square feet are down there. And
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
a lot. Yeah. And some contractors claim that they saw the bunkers and the tunnels, but it definitely helps people think that there must be an underground tunnel system that they want us to know nothing about. Many think that these tunnels actually lead to NORAD, which is the North American Aerospace Defense Command. That's not the right letters.
I know NORAD. I've heard of that, but I don't know what it stands for.
I think
NORAD.
NORAD.
Astonishing Legends talks about that.
Oh no, it apparently it is the North
Oh,
American.
because it's NOR
ADIC.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on a second, those letters
Yeah, that
don't
didn't
make
make sense for a moment either to me.
It's weird that we let the military come up with initials that like don't actually
Yeah,
do
it's
what they're
like
supposed to do.
I guess you're allowed to do that if you're the military.
So anyway, they think a lot of the tunnels will lead to NORAD, which is the North American Aerospace Defense Command. They think a lot of these tunnels take you either directly to military bases or they take you even 100 miles to bunkers. Apparently,
Whoa.
NORAD has a branch 75 miles away. So they think,
Oh my
oh,
god.
well, these tunnels take you there in case of like a nuclear event. Like this will keep you safe until you can get to the actual
So they think there's
base.
a tunnel that goes all the way 75 miles long. Jeez.
Yes. 75 miles long. Which, what are you going to do on one of those little luggage carts? That's how you're going to get there?
One of those
You talking
smart
about-
carts, like 25 cents in there.
So others think that not only is it you could drive 100 miles to a bunker, but that these tunnels could be the beginnings of building out an entire town underground for the rich and powerful when the doomsdays come.
So like this weekend, probably, because of all this
Probably
shit
someone's
going on.
hiding out down there.
Yeah.
The airport says that these facilities are not a fallout shelter. This is just where all the luggage goes downstairs.
Okay, the luggage, sure, whatever that even means. What, the luggage like the airlines lose? What do you mean?
Well, I guess if you think about it, if there's 70 million people a year going through this airport, you don't often see, like, it's kind of like the back rooms
that's
of
a
where the
great
luggage
fucking
goes.
point.
And also,
It's a lot of suitcases.
That's, 70 million bags a year, and you don't see them like just carted around in front of you. Like, it's when you drop them off at bag drop, it kind of the inner workings.
Yeah, I guess when they end up on that truck thing.
Also, apparently, it has now become, it's kind of like at Disneyland, like the tunnels, where it's like this is where employees get from A to B without bothering other people.
I see.
Apparently, up to 1,000 workers a day are down there, just getting from terminal
like
to terminal.
access points. Okay.
It's also where a lot of the plumbing and electrical is, because if you think about an airport that's, as big as
but
San Francisco, think of all the
my-
plumbing and electricity you need for that.
My airport also has plumbing and electricity. I don't know that they needed. Okay, yes. I know. I'm on conspiracy brain. Sorry. But yes.
No, you're good. But
6
imagine
floors of plumbing and electricity and no.
But does it seems intriguing to me, like if you told me San Francisco, which is somehow smaller than this airport.
Yeah.
If you told me San Francisco is run by only 6 floors of plumbing and electricity, I'd go, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very quickly it's like, well, that's not a lot of space.
Well, shit. Well, yeah.
And that's where all of the luggage goes. And on
okay,
top
but
of
then
it,
why, if they have so much space, are they not going outward? Like, why is it down? Or is it all
that's
like,
a good point.
is the whole airport take up that gigantic property? Or is it just like they decided to
So-
build down instead of out?
Yeah, I don't know that answer. I do know that at one point they were trying a new, like, state-of-the-art, hadn't been seen before, automated luggage system that was supposed to be operating underground where nobody had to see it. And then it was a total bust. Apparently, the system was, this is a quote, launching bags off of the conveyor belts and shredding luggage.
Oh my god.
Someone else apparently called it the baggage system from hell.
Oh my god.
And apparently
okay.
that person maybe was Macaulay Culkin,
Yeah.
who said that it was the scariest place he'd ever been.
Well, yeah, because his like Louis Vuitton bag got shredded and thrown in his face.
So when that system wasn't working, they just kind of abandoned ship. But I think like one whole floor was supposed to be dedicated to this baggage stuff.
Okay.
And then
I mean,
another
that makes
floor was
sense.
plumbing, another thing was electricity. So, but that still, you're right,
mean,
doesn't
it-
account for like 3 whole floors of this.
It does feel very like late 80s, like let's modernize things, like instead of building out so that we need all these trams, like what if we did up and down? Like it almost feels like an architect was like, I've got a bold idea for the Denver airport, and they like tested it out and it was like,
And they like
never
ate
mind.
your backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, it ate your backpack and now you have $2 billion in debt, and I don't know, but I could see that being a possibility
hmm So
for
that's
the
a thought.
90s. Yeah.
That's a thought. And when asked about the tunnels leading to military bases, this is an interesting thought that the world's longest, that we know of, the world's longest underground rail tunnel, it's in the Swiss Alps, and it took over a decade to build, and it's still less than half the size people claim that these tunnels go.
Really?
Yeah.
It took
So
how long?
it took over a decade to build, basically like
Oh
30 something
my
miles.
God.
And people think that, well, this one is an easy 75 miles.
75. Okay, yeah, I guess I fell for that trap too, where I was like, oh yeah, just build a tunnel.
But also, we don't know, like, they weren't US government funded, you know?
The
So,
FAA wasn't involved. Yeah.
plus,
I don't think.
this is another thought, is that if the airport and its backers spent decades and billions hiding an agenda, why would they jeopardize it by posting clues of it around the airport?
I mean,
And
yeah, that part is kind of for me where it starts to fall apart. Like, well, would it be this like obvious, or like would people on TikTok be just wandering into it all the time, you know?
well, here are some of those clues.
Okay.
The first one, because again, these are the people.
What if it was like a master riddle maker? Like remember that movie Rat Race? And it was like
Yeah. What if it was me bored during COVID and I made an
Literally.
escape room
and you
but it
took
just
all our money and I didn't even know about it, and funded all the billions that we have into the Denver airport, put clues everywhere. It does feel like the only like a John Cleese movie or something, you know, like
Oh,
where
John Cleese, haven't heard that name in a long
I
time.
don't know where that came from. I never know actors' names. I don't even know who that is, but it just
I always thought he would play an excellent mouse eating cheese. And I don't know if it's because his name is Cleese and cheese.
But doesn't he do that? No.
Does he?
See, in my head, that is literally what he does. But maybe we both
He looks like someone could make a claymation rat of him eating cheese. And
Oh my
I'd be like,
God.
that's John
So he
Cleese.
was in Rat Race. Okay. So that was him in
Oh, maybe that's why, because rat.
Rat Race. Oh, wait, duh. Yeah. And
I'm an
also
idiot.
in that movie, there's we used to watch that movie so often, and it's like so bad, and it's like so bad, but we loved it as kids. We watched it all the fucking time for some reason. But
I remember having that DVD, and it weirdly was always on loop, too.
we had the VHS, baby.
Oh, quit bragging.
We had no loop to speak of, but I hit that rewind button. Anyway, yeah. So it feels like a John Cleese, like an eccentric, like riddle master has
He
too much
always
money.
was eccentric. And
Right?
he was John Cleese. He will go down history as an eccentric
I'm
rich
telling
man,
you.
always a little evil.
And like think about like a movie like Knives Out, like, you know, just something like where it's like, okay, this, you have to suspend your disbelief to be like, oh, the clues, you know, they left clues for some reason.
I mean, there's nobody else I would want to play Colonel Mustard, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I get
You
it.
get it.
So here are some of the clues, and as I say this, remember that most of these conspiracy theorists, the main thing are these tunnels. That is what caused everything else to be fucking weird.
Okay.
Because everyone thought underground bunkers, obviously government something,
Sinister
/ New World Order.
Oh,
So
speaking
it
of,
all
Sinister
comes from
had
that.
definitely covered this, which was a really fun episode. But it was
I bet.
a
I
while
bet they
ago.
killed it.
Yeah.
I bet they killed it. So sorry if I butcher it compared to them.
No.
Which
I
is
mean,
likely.
oh, come on. Don't be so hard on
Every time I
yourself.
listen to them, I go, man, what am I doing here?
Well, one of them's an attorney. We don't have credentials like that, so.
Okay. The first theory is that when you're looking at it from an aerial view, which is easy to do at an airport because you're in a fucking plane.
Sorry, I don't know why I was like, oh, why is that easy to do? Oh, I see. Right.
From an aerial view, apparently the layout of the runways look like a swastika.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that picture.
Which, if you're looking for it, yes,
Right.
but you have to kind of ignore, which we'll post pictures too for
I need
everyone.
to
If
look
you,
at it. Do you mind if I look it up?
yeah,
real
go
quick?
for it.
I don't know.
I should have sent you pictures.
No,
I didn't
it's
even
okay.
think
I
about
don't remember. Aerial silks. No. What am I looking for?
it.
Aerial Denver.
Swastika.
Oh, God. Yeah, you know what I
Type
mean.
away, you little German.
You
Type
know,
away.
You know Google what I'm trying to say. International Airport. Here we go. Oh.
But like it, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you draw red lines on it in MS Paint,
You
like,
get it.
yeah. But from above, I
So-
wouldn't. I mean,
Unless you're
Unless you're
like
primed to see it, I think, right? Like it's hard.
unless you're thinking about a new world order, you wouldn't look at that and go, "Oh, swastika,"
It's like Eva's tattoo. Like
Yeah.
we were just like, "Hey, that sounds dirty," and then we just couldn't stop making it dirty.
I know. Poor Eva. Certainly an HR violation. I feel so
Certainly,
bad.
at the
I feel
least,
so bad.
at the least.
But yeah, so if you're looking at this, if you're trying, yeah, I guess it looks like a swastika, but um that you have to ignore other lines. Plus the swastika isn't even equal. Like one of the
Yeah.
arms isn't the same size as everything else. Basically, the argument for this that obviously the airport had to make a fucking statement because enough
Yeah.
people were like, "You're Nazis."
Yeah.
They said, "No, actually this is like, first of all, designed by renowned architects, so like fucking relax." And they're not Nazis. And also, this is just a pinwheel layout where if you look, there's several more arms than just 4.
Yeah.
And the pinwheel layout helps to allow multiple runways to be used at once so there
Right.
isn't delays.
It feels
So,
like an airport would sensibly look that way. Like
I
I could
think
understand that.
I think an airport, I'm sure in their press statement at some point, they first wrote and then had to delete. I can't believe I have to say
I
this,
can't
but
believe I have to say this.
similarly, the airport on the outside, part of their design is that they have a lot of white tents outside and like covering up infrastructure.
Mm.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, those white tents look a lot like KKK hoods."
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay.
But then the airport again had to be like, "No, this represents Colorado's snow-capped mountains. Like,
Oh
leave us
dear.
alone."
Oh
So-
dear. And it's like hard to not believe that. Like that. It sounds so sad that it's like
yeah.
I trust that. I believe that.
Still, like,
Snow-capped mountains.
there are people out there who can use this at least to confirm, oh, obviously this place is either ran by Nazis or a New World Order or operates with them,
But it's
or the
just wild
bunkers
'cause
underneath
it's
the
like-
airport are for them.
Were they like in a brainstorming meeting and they're like, well, we want a fun clue hidden from aerial view. You know
guess
what I mean? It's
so.
like, well, you got the tents. Like, we want to be the shape of the building. Like, I don't know. It just
Like,
seems.
if anything, couldn't you have said, "Oh my God, there's a pinwheel, and now it looks like a hypnosis wheel"? And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like, you could
whatever.
come up with anything.
Exactly. Or you could be like, I don't know. It just seems a little silly that they would be so concerned with like hiding clues of their symbols in the.
Also, like, you're not hiding anything if you have an
Exactly.
obvious swastika somewhere. That's not hiding
Exactly.
shit. It's not like a hidden Mickey
It's not
ears.
subtle.
You know?
Right. Wouldn't you be like, oh, let's make it the least swastika looking thing possible, just in case, right?
Yes.
Like if you were actually, I don't know, it just seems like kind of a tenuous argument.
Well, so
Remember how I was like so on the conspiracy train 5 minutes ago? Now I'm like, that's so unreasonable.
I did look, okay, but evidence again that conspiracy theories are slippery slopes.
Yes,
and
very true, very true.
very quickly people,
point.
even the smartest people in the world, can get caught up in the
Good
wrong
point.
thing. Read QAnon.
Well said.
So speaking of the art installation of the snow-capped mountains to cover the infrastructure, one of the big things about the DIA, the Denver Airport, is that they have this really great public art program where they are known for having a lot of art in their airport. Obviously, it's being like involved in their infrastructure as well to make it look like mountains and paying homage to the state. But this art program dedicates 1% of every construction project budget to art.
Oh, okay.
So right now, I don't know actually about right now. The source I think was like 2 years old, but at the time, at least in the 2020s, there are usually around 40 installations in the airport to pay attention to.
Wow.
And a lot of them have become these clues that people
I'm
have
sure.
run into, which I mean, imagine being stuck in an airport and you just look at every mural and you're like, what does this one mean? What does this one mean? What is this? Oh my God, it's all
It's
making
like what
sense.
you said, unless you're looking for a swastika, it's like, well, yeah, I guess you could start finding clues
Yeah.
to whatever you wanted to. Yeah, I could see that, especially with the art.
Well, the most famous art piece at the airport, which you probably know about, is Blucifer.
Yes, Lucifer.
So Blucifer is a piece that was originally called Mustang, and it was by Luis Jimenez, and he is now nicknamed Blucifer because he is this big ass blue horse. He's a 9,000-pound statue. He's 32 feet tall. And he stands out front of the airport. So when you're driving in, you can see him from the highway. When you're flying away, he's on the runway with you. And They call him Lucifer because he honestly looks really fucking scary.
He's like a huge blue fucking horse.
And not only that, but if you
Did we
get a
say it's a
close,
horse?
yes,
Okay.
yes. And if you Google him, if you Google like an up close picture of him, he's not only just scary from far away, but he has like scars all over his face. He looks really demonic.
Aren't his
And
like testicles in it?
he does seem to have
Like
a somewhat of
some
a package.
cojones? Yeah.
Even without trying, if he's 32 feet tall, they're
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
They're
if you want to
big.
be anatomically correct, sure.
the thing that's the most demonic about Lucifer, though, is that he has neon glowing red eyes.
Like, I mean, that part,
So day or night, you can
It-
see at least eyes glowing from the airport.
like, that's pretty weird, right, guys? That's pretty weird.
It's super weird. And one of the other reasons why he's called Lucifer, not just because he's this big fucking scary demonic horse looking thing, is because he killed his own creator.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh,
So
it's
he was created
horrible.
by Luis Jimenez, and in 2006, when Luis was working on him, part of the head of Lucifer fell off, landed on him, and severed an artery in his leg, and he died. So
I mean,
Luis's kids,
Jesus Christ, that's so horrifying.
Luis's kids ended up finishing the statue in his honor, and it went to the airport 2 years later in 2008. But conspiracy theorists think that not only is he scary and demonic looking, he's got glowing red eyes. He killed his own creator. They now also think he obviously represents the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Mm.
And then the airport had to come out and go, no, he's an art piece and he represents Denver as a gateway to the American West. Like, he's a horse,
That feels like a PR spin.
you know?
The gateway to the What? Okay.
I guess because Colorado was.
Well, what about like Broncos? I thought it was Broncos.
You would call it, well, the Denver Broncos, right? So maybe that's
what
also
I mean.
part of it.
thought
Yeah.
I thought they were like, oh, we're the horse state.
I don't know. Maybe Broncos are also because it's a gateway to the American
I guess
West.
so.
I don't fucking
mean,
know.
a wild Bronco. Yeah, I guess so. Rodeo style.
So yeah. And on top of that, by the way, the reason he's blue, because people seem to think that that's part of the conspiracy. They're like, oh, the blue means something. Okay, relax. The blue is because Louise actually did have a horse named Blackjack, and Blackjack was a blue roan Appaloosa.
Aw.
And this horse, I guess, has black and white hairs that mix so well that it actually looks like a blue tint.
I literally thought you said a dog. It's a horse. He had a horse.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
he had a horse named Blackjack.
I think I heard dog in my head, and
Maybe I
was-
said dog.
I
Shit,
don't-
now I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was just me.
So that's why he's blue. It's just because his own actual horse looked blue.
Oh, well, I mean, makes sense.
Good reason.
Yeah.
And the glowing red eyes, obviously everyone's like, well, that's demonic.
That part I get stuck on that.
This is an homage to Louise or Louise's father. I'm not sure which one.
Is
but
it
one of them.
Louise or like Luis? Like sorry, the side question.
Sorry, Louise. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
slurring.
no, I'm
It's
just
Louise.
making sure.
But the glowing red eyes are an homage to either him or his father, because when they were learning their own artistic skills, they worked at a neon shop, and so a neon shop like meant something to the family. So when they were finishing the piece, they
Oh.
put glowing
He's like,
neon red
where
eyes.
to put neon? I know. The eyes will beam out. I mean, it's kind of scary.
It's also because the red eyes have a second story to it too, which is that Luis had his own horse Blackjack. Luis was going home one day and looked in the windows of his own home and saw glowing red eyes. And when he walked in, Blackjack had somehow broken into the house.
Oh, okay. That's a great story.
It's a funny story.
It's a
Yeah, like
great
how did my
story.
horse get
My
in here?
blue horse with red eyes. That's literally what he created. And it feels like he didn't. It almost is like that thing where you do something, but you don't realize like how crazy it sounds on the outside because it's so
Mhm.
normal in your head. And he's like, what do you mean? It's a blue horse with red neon eyes. What's so weird about that?
I know. And honestly, his wife actually had a funny thing, well, not funny, but like a poignant thing to say about it, where when discussing Lucifer and
Yeah.
Lucifer's red eyes, Luisa's wife said, the red eyes show, based on that story of Blackjack breaking in, that sometimes things are only scary because you don't know what it is.
Oh, that is
Or because it's
poignant.
unfamiliar or
Yeah.
unknown. So despite all that, people are like, Lucifer is cursed. He causes chaos at the airport. Meanwhile, it's like some kids like finish their dead dad's art project.
It's horrible. Like in a state of trauma, probably. Yeah.
And officials have, or airport officials at least, have come out and been like, no, he's like supposed to be like a protector of all the travelers
Mhm.
coming from near and far, and he guards the
Is he a
airport.
gateway or protector, Em? They have to make up their damn minds.
And he's not a Bronco, apparently. He's a Mustang. So
Oh, no, no,
that
no. I
really
looked this
throws
up.
the
I
thing
looked this up. So it's not a type of a Bronco is just like a hold on. I looked this up one time because I was like, what's the difference between a Bronco and a Mustang?
Oh.
Yeah.
And an Appaloosa, which is who he's actually based off of.
That's maybe why I thought you said dog, because I think in my head that's the type of dog, and it's like not. It's an untamed horse, so it just could
Oh,
mean
so
any type of horse. So he is a
See?
Bronco.
Okay, so he's a Bronco.
Yeah.
So that makes sense too. So that adds to it. Perfect.
Yep.
But anyway, people are like, he's obviously terrifying, which he does look
I
terrifying.
mean, he is terrifying actively, and a horse in your house is also terrifying. So, like,
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's equally terrifying.
Which leads to one of the reasons why the Denver airport is so creepy is because even though they have this like wonderful art program, most of the art they pick is really fucking weird.
Okay, yeah.
Including Lucifer, like a demonic blue horse with glowing red eyes.
I mean,
Of
it's a
course,
wild choice. Yeah,
people are gonna have
people
questions.
are gonna talk. The
You
neighbors
can't
are
be
gonna
surprised when
talk.
people are like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Another piece of weird art that they put in are gargoyles.
Oh yes!
And-
Oh my god!
So my favorite thing about this, because the guy is so quippy, the artist's name is Terry Allen, and he titled this art piece Notre Denver. Love that. And these gargoyles sit inside suitcases near baggage claim to watch over your bags.
I mean, it's very sweet. I love it.
it's very sweet.
I love it.
Fun fact, they sit in Samsonite suitcases because the Samsonite factory was in Denver at the time.
Oh, I love that.
So another nod to Denver. Many see these gargoyles, and of course, because they don't have any information, they go, dark, scary gargoyles.
Mhm.
Okay. But gargoyles are meant to be protectors and watch over you.
That's right.
And so some take a totally different meaning with this, but literally they're just supposed to watch your luggage come out of baggage claim. That's it. That's
love
fucking
it.
it. Here's the best fucking part. One of the gargoyles, they came out with this marketing campaign. I'm going to get into the marketing
gargoyle did?
campaign. No, sorry. The airport. There's one woman who I'm going to talk about later.
Studied PR in college.
There's this one woman who I'm going to talk about later. Her name's Stacy. We love Stace.
Oh, okay.
She did a lot of PR campaigns, marketing ideas, and one of them was she had installed this other gargoyle named Greg. And Greg was an interactive gargoyle
No.
who talked back and forth with the guests.
That's
like
crazy.
Like at a tree at Disney or whatever, like one of those
Oh
things,
my
or like
gosh.
Crush the Turtle.
What?
And so he would just say
oh my god, sorry. I thought you said
sorry.
Crush the Turtle. Okay, I get it now.
Crush,
from Finding Nemo.
the turtle from
Yeah,
Finding Nemo.
yeah.
So it was like an interactive gargoyle who would be like, "Oh, you with the blue suitcase, blah blah blah."
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so freaky, by the way.
I know. So a lot of people thought it was too freaky.
Yeah.
And especially the people, I think, who already tie this airport to like satanic shit or dark stuff. They were like, now a gargoyle talks to us. Are you fucking kidding
Now
me?
there's like an active person watching us, like, oh, look, you in the blue suitcase. I mean, not that people aren't already watching everybody at the airport, right? But yeah, it's weird.
I do get the idea of like, oh, it's to like get you hyped up that you're like off your flight and you're gonna like hang out with everyone.
Welcome to
or like
Denver. Yeah.
Yeah. But some people thought it was so demonic that Greg got shut down and is now just he's still an animatronic, but he only says pre-recorded phrases.
Oh man.
But I like that they still had theirs at the end because the pre-recordings are still hysterical.
Okay.
One of them is, "Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean Denver International Airport."
Okay, this is so good. They lean into it. See, this is the kind of shit up to Stacy's ahead of her time, man.
I love Stacy.
Man.
He said something, someone posted a TikTok of the gargoyle recently who said, you know how gargoyles are like squatting?
Yeah.
The gargoyle just goes, "Oh, my knees."
Oh my that was me going up the stairs today. Yeah.
And then he says something else about like, "Someone make me a Tinder account. It's so lonely up here."
Oh my god,
Like,
so they
something-
update it with stuff?
I guess so.
Or
so,
maybe
yeah.
that was a while ago. But that's so funny.
Anyway, loved Greg the Gargoyle.
Imagine
even if he's
having
just
an
pre-recorded.
IMDb and being like the voice of Greg the Gargoyle. Like that must be such a
That's on
high,
someone's resume, for sure.
esteemed award. Yeah, esteemed accomplishment.
Well, so that's one piece. That's another art. So there's Lucifer, there's Greg the Gargoyle. There's gargoyles in general. So I think there's multiple gargoyles, but only Greg was the interactive one for a
Okay.
while. Then the other big thing that's like the end of the world, this is obviously a sign of doomsday, there are some murals of these 40 installations.
Oh yes, murals.
These this artwork that is super popular with conspiracy theorists, there are two murals, both made by a guy named Leo Tanguma.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, when you look at it, just like Lucifer, just like the Gargoyles, it's fucking weird looking. It's a weird mural. But it's just art that also is supposed to be a conversation piece.
Okay.
So it has very like bright colors while having very disturbing images. So it like looks fun and draws you in. Then when you look at it, it's like
Oh.
actually really fucked up.
What's
So
sorry, what's it called? Or I guess I can just search Denver
I'll
mural.
tell you in a second,
Oh,
and
you
then I'll
will.
give you
Okay,
the name
okay.
in a second. But to give you an idea, just so you know that you found the right mural, I guess when you Google it, some of the images that are disturbing in this that have like bright colors and everything. There's a Nazi with a gas mask holding an assault rifle and a sword that's stabbing a bird.
Oh my god.
There's images of dying animals, kids in coffins. There's a letter from a kid from Auschwitz.
Oh my
There's
god.
firestorms. There's lots of destruction and chaos. And theorists claim that these murals obviously represent like a new world order or a plan for a takeover or something about like really scary power.
Right.
But in reality, the murals have other meanings and they are warnings of what could come when it comes to injustices, climate change,
Sure.
violence, war. So it's meant to scare you
It's
to
like
be
a
like, this is what could
reminder, like a
happen.
historic reminder. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I will tell you the names now. There's two murals. There's one, if you wanted to look it up,
Sure.
called The Children of the World Dream of Peace.
Okay, I definitely remember Googling this when I listened to Sinisterhood ages ago, and I was like, I can't believe, like, they were saying these things, and I was like, that can't be true. Like, there's no way. Okay, got
Yeah.
Children of the World. Oh, I mean, it really looks unassuming. Hold on.
Yeah.
So what's on? What's
it's
on?
like,
Where's the guy? Where's the scary guy?
so there's two pieces. So that's one of the pieces.
Okay.
And then the other one is called In Peace and Harmony with Nature.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't see anything scary, but I'm also very oblivious.
No, you're good. But that's kind of the point too. It's like it looks happy and unassuming, and then when you really pay attention to it, it's like, oh shit.
Ooh, yeah. What the hell?
And it looks also, when you first look at it, it's pretty trippy. I mean, the colors are
Yeah.
really bright. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to look at. And so it does.
Feels like
It
hallucinogenic almost. Yeah.
yes, it looks very like
Trippy.
a Beatles album art or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So one of them depicts war versus peace, and another one shows the contrast between environmental ruin versus environmental healing.
Oh, I see what's happening because there's fires. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So on top of all that, the
Also very
murals,
timely,
yeah, still, yeah.
unfortunately.
On top of that, the murals often are looked at the wrong way because I guess the murals have two sides to them. So like, and I don't know if that was like a physical different side or like if it's just like literary metaphorically.
like,
There's two sides to
right.
this. That's what I think is going on here. But yeah, there's two sides to it, and people I think just see the really creepy shit, and then they just forget that there might be like a meaning to that, or like there's a piece to it, and many just see chaotic, creepy murals and then misinterpret it from
My
there.
Lord, this is, I mean, it is freaky for sure.
And due to renovations, they have actually had to temporarily remove the murals, and then that caused its own
Oh,
stir
I'm sure it did.
because theorists then believe that the murals were put away because we knew too much and we were on to them, and that
They'll never figure it out.
yeah, and that the airport's new world order plan is now they have to cover it up quick and hide it. But no, it's just temporarily in storage while they're doing renovations.
Okay.
But there are other murals that have similar like tension behind them, I guess. That's according to conspiracy theorists. There's like one mural that suggests that it's proving that flat Earth is true. There's another one that
Okay.
says that
I knew that was
COVID
coming.
COVID was planned by the deep state.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
was
I
another
see.
one,
There's an IUD, I think. Am I crazy?
an IUD.
In this mural.
Oh, I'm not looking at the mural right now.
I mean, it's like
probably
really
so.
small, so I'm like, you probably wouldn't even see it, but I'm like zooming in on the flowers, and one of them like very much looks like an IUD, but I don't know.
Interesting.
I could be
Well,
just
I wouldn't be
reading.
surprised.
But like, I guess that's how people end up reading into stuff. So what do I know?
Well, there's another art installment you'll be interested in that was an over 20-foot tall statue of Anubis, the Egyptian god of death.
Oh
Of
gosh.
course, people read into that because, like, oh, now the god of
I
death
mean,
is
it's a
here.
wild choice for an airport again, but all of this is a wild choice for an airport.
They're making a wild choice. I don't think
Yes.
they get to go, why are people so freaked out?
Yeah,
You know?
bold choice. Yes.
So far, I haven't talked about a normal thing. I'll tell you
I
that.
know that's very true. That's very true.
But I will say, as for the two murals that I'm talking about right now, people have joked about the weirdness of the murals. They have also obviously gone as far as assuming doomsday conspiracy theories. But I just want to put this out there because I haven't seen anyone else talking about this, that the artist and his daughter who collaborated, I think, on some of the art, they have both been constantly harassed for their work.
Oh, geez.
People have sent them death threats. People have said things like they wanted 9/11 to
Oh
happen.
my God.
People have said their art is evil. They've lost commissions because people thought they were like up to some nefarious
Right.
thing with their art. Meanwhile, despite all the weirdness of their art, yes, it is weird. We got to give it's odd looking when you first look at it and you're like, what the hell am I looking at?
It's that word provocative, you know? It's
Yes,
provocative.
striking.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
striking.
But at the end of the day, not just these two murals, but all pieces that Leo Tanguma has done, they were all about injustices in the world. So
Yeah.
he's been making pieces like this since literal childhood. In Texas, he made one about police brutality, which I think actually ruined his reputation in Texas and he had to leave. He also made pieces multiple times in protests for civil rights. So he's like on the right side of history and he just wants to do something that's going to shock you. So that way
mean,
you talk about it, you know?
It's like very obviously, I mean, to me, okay, this is like, to say it's just obvious is not really fair, but like I'm looking at the image of the Nazi soldier with and it's like very clear he's the villain of this art piece and he's
Yes.
stabbing a dove, like a symbol
dove
of
of peace,
peace. And
yeah.
it's like, I mean, obviously this is like a statement on society.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like, oh, wow, look, the Nazi has like a halo and is the
Yeah.
king of the world. Like, I don't know.
And everyone's kissing his feet. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I think with an ounce, a splash of critical thinking or media literacy or anything of that,
Right.
people can look at that and go, this is obviously meant to invoke
Oh
something.
my God, Em, a splash of media literacy. You are saying all sorts of like deeply smart things today.
You're welcome. But so anyway, I think if you just think about what art is supposed to do, it's
Right,
supposed to make you
exactly.
feel and be
I
disturbed.
mean, if the God of Death statue was there, that would be my main concern if I were getting on an airplane. Not like, oh,
I'd be
Nazis are
be like,
bad
this-
mural.
I will say this airport has to be a nightmare for people with like anxiety and OCD.
For
like,
real.
reading into anything.
Because I'm just like, oh my God. And then you start thinking about it and you're like, now am I creating it?
It's
that
like,
I'm
why is
thinking
the
about
last
it?
thing I saw a demonic horse and the statue of death, like a god
Yeah,
of death?
it feels like a bad sign.
Well, just to finish out my like little spiel promoting their art, I also want to say that in the murals, there are a lot of children in those murals. And the kids that he painted were not only his own family, they were young activists who died, and they were a bunch of kids who have passed away, and their parents asked him to memorialize
Oh,
them in a painting.
jeez. Well, that's beautiful.
And not only that, but I guess they all came from different backgrounds, and so he asked about their cultures, and he was able, in these murals alone, to represent 70 different countries in the murals
That's
based on
remarkable.
what they're dressed in or whatever. So he made big efforts to be inclusive, which is also part of the art, right? As like human connection will prevent these bad things from happening.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to give a shout out because a lot of people just immediately, especially the sources I was looking at, I was trying to look at everything from like, normal sites to like YouTube to TikTok to whatever. And everyone just goes, this is the craziest harbinger of doom. And it's like, these people were just trying to say like, there's injustice in the world,
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. And there's this like massive building that's fun, like trying to promote, like make a statement and promote local art or promote artists. I mean, it's just like, it
Yeah,
feels
especially
like a very
to
easy
promote
understanding.
art of people who are like against police brutality and are
Yeah.
fighting for human rights, and then now they're losing commissions because like they're too controversial,
Yeah.
So
And it's like, is that controversial to say like, Nazis are
I-
not bringing peace.
yeah, exactly.
I don't
So
know.
just
But
wanted to give a
I
shout out to
see why
them.
people are like, yikes, there's a fucking Nazi on the wall of the airport. Yes, I
Yes.
do understand. I do. It's just like,
It's one of those things where I want to give both sides credit. It's like,
yeah.
it is freaky.
pretty
I would
bold.
absolutely make a comment walking past it and I'd go, why the fuck is there a Nazi on this wall?
I'd Google it immediately and be like, am
Yes.
I imagining things? Yeah.
Yes. And on top of that, you think, well, there's a Nazi in this mural, the swastika and the aerial
Right.
view, like people can, it's,
Make the connections that they, yeah.
yes, I appreciate that the airport and like their art program, they're trying to do different original things,
Right.
but it also like gives so much fodder to add to the conspiracy
Yeah,
theories, you know?
yeah.
So another one is that this is a wild one, but I really like it. Just because it's like someone I think just wanted to have an opinion and just shouted this one out and it stuck. In the movie The Close Encounters of the Third Kind, apparently aliens give humans a set of coordinates. Someone decided these are obviously the coordinates of the Denver airport.
Wait, are they?
And shockingly close. They're an hour from, which is
Okay, because you
interesting.
said someone decided they were the coordinates. I was like, what do you mean they decided it? So they like looked it up and
They
it was,
just looked up and I think they saw Colorado and they went, it's the Denver airport.
oh, I see. So they just decided it was close enough.
This it's also, some people think that these coordinates are were given to the architects by aliens so that way they could build the Denver airport, aka their own extraterrestrial hub. And so for that reason, people now think that aliens are either stored or hidden or are controlling us or
Stored?
live something
So it's like
about
they're
aliens
either
in the
in
tunnels.
charge or they're like prisoners. Nobody knows.
There's no in between. Maybe they store themselves. I don't fucking know.
Maybe they're the
Um,
ultra new baggage system that everyone's raving about.
Maybe they were shredding all the luggage. They're like, get out of my house
Oh my god, this is where I live and rule and work also.
and store
And am
myself.
imprisoned and stored.
But so because of the potential alien thing, I mean, it's so easy to add aliens to an airfield.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially when it's like billions of funding by the FAA. You're like, well,
Yeah, and it's allegedly a 75-mile golf cart ride to an Air Force base, you know.
golf cart ride, yeah.
But so because of this, a lot of people think that, well, Roswell is Area 51. This is obviously Area 52. So people call this Area 52.
Oh, okay. I see.
And it just justifies that aliens, sometimes people do the whole lizard people thing.
Right, right.
That they all must be in those tunnels, and that's why nobody is allowed down there. Okay. Now, this is where I also mention aliens in a different way, because throughout the design of the airport, there's a lot of quote, I'll say weird, without knowledge, inscriptions or engravings throughout the airport.
Oh, I see.
A lot of people have decided that these quote odd or just different to you inscriptions are obviously alien language or secret society
Like
language.
it feels like so medieval when you present it that way because it's like, oh, we saw something we don't understand. It's extraterrestrial
Aliens.
or
Yeah.
it's Satan, back in the day. Like it's the devil, but
it's
like
obviously demonic hieroglyphics. That's the way they would probably put it. So some of these, I will butcher these, but some of the inscriptions are like Besh Dit Guy, Dizit Dit Guy, Ninine Nisi, Sis Nanjini. Like it's things that obviously are not English, and because
Right.
Americans are scared of everything, the second it's not English, it must be satanic.
Yeah, of course.
And this is where I remind everybody, haha, actually not demonic. This is literally indigenous language.
Oh, woof. Yeah, I mean, come
yes.
on, guys. Like,
So, and by the way,
and that
just
takes a quick Google. You know what I mean? That's like
Quick.
that's what bothers me. It's like, okay, yeah, you can look at it and go, what could that possibly mean? But like, then look it up and be like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, I don't
if
know.
I saw a word I didn't know, I would just go, what does that say?
What is that? Yeah, I wouldn't be like, that's fucking
I mean, like, it's
Satan.
obvious. My first thought would be, because I would assume we're in the United States, so it would be English. That would be my first thought, which is ignorant, but that would be my first thought. And I'd go, did they misspell something, or do I not know what that word is? That would just be my first thought. Apparently, this is Navajo language, and they are different phrases that say things like white metal, which for, I guess, that language meant silver. The mountain that is white, aka White Mountain.
Cool.
Tallow River, which is the Navajo name for part of the river near the airport. And then another one says a mountain sacred. Oh, I think it says like Blanca or Blanca Peak, and it's a mountain sacred to the Navajo people. So, but they have meaning. They just people assume,
Right.
the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
And two words that are not Navajo but also secret alien language are Braxma and Villarreal, which are the names of the artists.
No, and
So
those are like not that like
they're not that weird. They're just not direct like words you see all the time.
yeah. Wow,
Um,
that's wow. Okay, yeah, that's a stretch. People are
but
pushing it.
But because of that, people also say, oh, well, the reason that this place is so cursed and full of mysteries because this was built on indigenous land. Of course, they always bring
Oh
that up.
yeah.
Another example is that on the floor somewhere in the airport,
Then
there's
everything's cursed. By the way, it's like
I know. It's like,
it's like, and by the way, it is. So I don't know. It's like at the end of the day, what the fuck have we done?
well, so another example is on the floor somewhere in the airport, there is an inscription that says AU and then AG.
Okay, yeah, like
And
gold and silver. Oh, so like
thank you. That's
oh,
exactly it.
oh,
Gold
I
and
thought we
silver.
were going to talk about like alchemy or something, and they were going to be like, oh, it's the Illuminati alchemy.
It's literally supposed to be fucking gold and silver and gold.
Oh,
For Colorado's mining history.
yeah. Okay.
People, however, have taken this to mean AUAG is the Australian antigen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what's happening. Okay.
And
got it.
theorists say that these are hints that they have put throughout to let people know how the downfall of humanity will play out because the Illuminati and the deep state are going to use the Australian antigen on people.
Thank you for
which-
letting us know, by the way. Like,
I
what?
know. Like, isn't the point of biological warfare that I won't find out until it's too late?
Yeah, you're not supposed to
Um,
warn me decades in advance.
Well, fun fact, the Australian antigen does exist. It's also an antigen. It's not
Oh,
to
interesting.
hurt
Yeah.
you. Apparently it helps diagnose and or treat hepatitis B. So I think we're fine.
Yeah.
If the Australian antigen comes up,
It doesn't seem as sinister as maybe it like sounds.
something that heals and treats. Okay, great.
Mm.
Plus the inscription of AU and AG, I couldn't find evidence of this, but on one site I looked at, it said that inscription is actually part of a bigger piece, and the piece actually builds out this Native American design or this
Oh.
indigenous design. So
And
Just
they're
enough-
gonna go to Australia and bring back a fucking hepatitis
Yeah.
B vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you, I guess. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is there is also this dedication plaque where in the airport there is a time capsule that was put in.
M loves a time capsule.
M or M and Christine? Let's get it straight
Okay,
real
here's
quick.
what I have to say.
What do you fix it?
I have
Why?
I have such an anxiety about time capsules because I'm like I cannot wait to do that. Like not that I can't wait, like I'm excited. Like I just like I am unable. It's an inability of mine to wait for something, especially if you tell me it's like 20 years. Like I love a time capsule when I'm like opening it. That's all.
Uh-huh,
I
I
don't
get
like
it.
the rest of it. I fucking hate it actually. It makes
I
me
want to
so
find
stressed.
a time capsule in the walls of something and open it now. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. That's like my dream. I actually bought something a couple weeks ago that's supposed to help me find stuff in the walls, and then I was like, I actually had to delete Amazon from my phone because I was like, this is really unhealthy how much I'm just like buying shit on Amazon that is not like I'm funding the whole New World Order by purchasing
Oh.
stuff from Amazon that's just going to help me find treasures in the wall, and then I don't like find treasures in the wall. Anyway, I've had like a kind of in case no one can tell, like a mental breakdown over the last 2 months, but I'm fine now. I think.
You know what? And that's all we can hope for. Okay.
So anyway, as I was saying, no.
As I was saying, I'm fine now, but I have a lot of
Anyway.
anxiety.
Okay, sorry. I love a time capsule at the end.
Mm-hmm. I understand. And unfortunately, you would have to wait a lot longer for this time capsule
See, I
because
can't abide by this. This is
it
unacceptable.
opens in 2094.
See, like I'm actually having like an existential crisis now because like I'll be dead, and it's like, oh, then I'll never know, and it just makes me so crazy.
Okay, but to assuage your anxiety, here's what's inside.
Oh, thank God. Okay, actually, this does really deeply assuage my anxiety. Thank you.
As far as we know, these are the things inside. I hate when they end with and other items. Fuck
yeah,
you.
no, that's not
Fucking
fair.
finish your list.
Because you know that like the other items in there, something would be so much more interesting to us than whatever they
Yes.
listed. Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Like
Other
let me see-
items?
let me decide what's interesting.
Tell me or don't.
Yeah.
Which is it?
Yeah,
What-
which is it?
Give me half the list.
Exactly.
So inside is a Colorado flag, Okay.
Okay.
There is airport opening day newspapers.
Well, that's
There's
fun.
a credit card, which these days actually is really a time capsule piece because no one really uses them anymore. Now that you've got your tap to pay,
It's like, why did you think that this would not give me anxiety? And now you're like, hey, credit cards are
Obsolete.
obsolete. And I'm like, wait, are they? I don't even know how to use Apple Pay. Help.
So are the next thing, coins.
That is the bane of my existence. Yeah.
There's also a baseball from Coors Field. There are Blackhawk casino tokens. And then there's
Oh.
the Denver mayor Wellington Webb's sneakers from his sneaker political campaign, where he walked door to door while campaigning. And those sneakers are in the time capsule.
That feels like out of a book.
It
I
feels
don't
like a
know.
Michael Scott move. Here's my
Yes,
sneaker campaign. I'm just going to
literally.
walk door to door.
And then I'm going to like time capsule these for myself for 90 years down the road. Yeah.
Well, above the time capsule is a dedication plaque, and on the plaque is a symbol from the Freemasons. So here we fucking go.
Uh-oh.
Not on top of the symbol, but additionally, there is the symbol on the plaque, and additionally, there is a line on the plaque that says "By the New World Airport Commission,"
Oh.
aka New World Order. It sounds like
I mean, it sounds weird.
it was a weird choice. But so it says this is donated by the Freemasons or whatever, and by the New World Airport Commission.
Okay, that is
And-
pretty weird.
Yeah,
So
and
the actual Freemasons did donate this or pay for it or
the
whatever.
Freemasons. It's confirmed that the Freemasons donated the plaque. Yes.
Oh boy, okay.
And then on the plaque it says by the New World Airport Commission, which is a group that doesn't exist. Quote, quote, quote.
Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
weird.
So even though it doesn't exist, I will say that it existed for a moment. So a lot of people have conflated the two things with the same plaque, with a time capsule in a creepy airport. Freemasons, New World Order, boom, that's easy. I could see
see.
why people would get there. But the Freemasons are a legit charity organization that probably helped fund things to get the airport kicked off.
Mhm.
And the Freemasons have 2 Grand Lodges in Colorado, so they are
Oh.
popular there.
And you know they love a time capsule. Come on.
You know they love a time capsule, and it is confirmed that they donated the
They
plaque.
probably invented the fucking existence of a time capsule.
That makes me mad because I really, really am hoping that when time travel finds me, I will go back in time far enough to create the first time capsule. I really don't want the
Well,
Freemasons
so it
to be
hasn't
the
happened
ones.
yet, obviously, because we haven't like talked about how someday we'll do this episode and we'll be like, well, and M, obviously inventor of the time capsule.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Maybe I
So,
should just say it now, and then it'll just get out of the way, for when
I
you
mean,
do get that.
I now it's the thing. Like, did it happen in
Yeah,
the
now
past
it's
or the
worse.
future?
This
And
is
did
why
I create
this
it
is
then or
why
now?
I fucking hate time capsules. This is what I'm telling you.
Man,
My
like
anxiety.
my last dying wish is to be a time traveler. It's not that hard. Like,
It's
let's
like,
get it together.
Please, God.
So Freemasons confirmed. As for the New World Airport Commission, it did exist temporarily because it was the name of the organization that helped with opening events for the airport.
Oh, so it
And-
was a thing. Okay.
It was a thing, and it was established by like small local businesses in the area that helped launch the airport or did promotions for the
Oh.
airport, or they were in charge of coming up with the event like a time capsule event. They were
Right.
just doing things to help. And
They were
so
doing Stacy's future job.
yes, you got
Yeah.
it. And it was and so they called themselves the New World Airport Commission, which does sound still very shady.
Yeah, it
But
does.
the reason why it's named that is because the founder of this temporary group was in a symphony. He was in the Colorado Springs Symphony, and he named the organization after his favorite song, which happened to be called New World Symphony.
And that's a song. We did confirm that's a song.
It is a song.
Okay. It was
It's-
once a song. It's no longer a song.
It's not
It was
often
for
played on
one
the radio.
moment. Yeah, I know. I've never heard of it. That's weird.
But so yeah, he was like, well, I'm a conductor in this symphony. Here's my favorite song, the New
I
World
see.
Symphony. We're gonna call it the New World Airport Commission. And it also
I mean, why
That
didn't you call it the New
feels-
World Symphony? Well, no, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
the song was already created elsewhere.
Yeah,
But
I get
guess
it. I get it.
unless the New World Order is that old, they created a symphony after themselves.
It was new so long ago.
See, now we're really
That
getting
it's
off
old.
track for
Wow.
sure. So, not only was it because the founder of this temporary group liked that song, but it was actually a good fit for an international airport, aka New World Airport,
Yeah.
international world. And it, a lot of people said it was also fitting because as an international airport, it now offered access to the world. So it was
New world.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a lot of plays on the word world.
And it's new and improved and has fucking baggage shredders. It's
Yeah,
like
because
the hot new item.
and well, yeah, you're right. Because before there was an old airport here, and now there's a
It's
new
like all
international
state
airport,
of the
aka
art.
New World Airport. So that even though there's a lot of good reasons, obviously theories have still developed about the airport's true purpose and the name being a hint to that. And here's a weird one that's also like ableist. Some have thought that the plaque and the braille next to the plaque, so people with like vision needs can read
What?
the fucking plaque. They think that it's a keypad to the time capsule and the
Oh
tunnels.
my lord.
Which
Okay.
like blind people weigh in. Like, is
Yeah,
that have you
seriously.
typed around on that thing and let me know? I
Like,
guess.
are you in the back rooms right now because your fingerprint access the? I mean, come on. I have such a headache. It's like killing me.
I mean, if I were a conspiracy theorist, I love a secret keypad, but
For
the
sure,
second
for
you make
sure.
it braille,
Who doesn't?
how do you not feel a little fucking icky about
Right,
that?
right.
Oh God. Okay, so anyway, there's that fun fact. Now we're gonna talk about Stacy, and then I swear to God, I'm done. I know
No,
I've been
you're good.
talking
I'm
forever.
sorry that I'm holding my head like I'm clutching my
No, I
brain
just
in
feel
agony,
that this
but
is so long. But okay, so now we got Stacy. She is our grand finale. We love Stacy.
yeah, we do.
Stacy, her name she has two different last names in different
Love it.
sources, so I think she changed her name
She's
at some
like
point.
Carmen Sandiego.
That's exactly right. So we're just gonna call her Stace. And she's in charge of the Denver Airport's marketing. She loves
this
the
day still?
lore. I think so, yeah.
I thought you
She-
said she loves the Lord, and I was like, Em,
wow.
you really put me in a corner here. Thank you for making me say I love Stacy 3 times, and then going, Stacy, the one thing you need to know about her is she loves the Lord. I'm like, wait, what?
No, she loves the lore, which is exactly how I'm just gonna start kind of slurring my words around Christians, and that's what I'll say. But
I love the
I'll still
lore,
be.
yeah.
I love the lore.
I'm very familiar
Oh.
with the lore. Thank you.
I throw my hands up for the lore. I love the lore. Oh,
That hurts me.
and so anyway, she loves the lore.
Yeah.
And really leans into these campaigns. Like, have you ever met someone who was just so meant for their own fucking job?
Oh,
because that's Stacy.
No, it's not you or me.
Okay, she's responsible, like I said, for Greg the Gargoyle.
Yeah, love that.
Love her.
Huge, huge.
Immediately promotion. Immediately.
Yeah, immediate.
She also teamed up with Roswell's airport, and they are now officially supernatural sister airports.
Don't even start. That's fucking hilarious.
And they both posted like announcements that they were sister airports.
It's like thinking
quote,
outside the box.
Quote, with plans of extraterrestrial combat. Just in
Oh
case.
my gosh. Wow. Wow. They really do lean into it.
Another idea that did not pan out for Stacy because it was too expensive is that for the airport's 20th anniversary, she wanted to put crop circles all over the property so people could see them from the sky.
Okay, that's fucking genius.
Stacy
We
needs
just need a volunteer team of tractor riders.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's
yeah.
all
Call Tractor Bob, Farmer Bob.
Call Farmer Bob. We'll all get together.
And so in 2018, there were new renovations, and she decided she was going to do this PR campaign and put posters all over the airport because during these renovations, it was going to be like difficult to navigate a lot of the airport. There was just heavy construction around. So you know how they put up those false walls?
Oh, yes, yes.
She was like, we're going to put posters on all those walls just to give people a chuckle. And all these posters are going to be like the nefarious creatures people think we store here.
Oh.
And they're going to be talking about the rumors of the airport. So, for example, one of the posters had Lucifer on it with like the lasers coming out of his red eyes. And the ad said, "Are we creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world?" And then another one had lizard people in construction gear because it was on a false wall for construction. And the lizard people said, "Apologies for the noise. It takes really big drills to get to the underworld."
Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
There was another one with a gargoyle, maybe Gargoyle Greg, in a TSA scanner, and he's asking, "Streamline security or more secrets?" And then there was another one. Literally, this isn't even a character. We just went with the conspiracy thing here. One of the posters had a cat in a tinfoil hat.
Oh, that's cute.
And one of them said, "Forgive the mess. Building secret underground tunnels can get quite untidy."
Bless this mess. It's just the underworld. Don't worry about it.
And then there was a hashtag in all these posters that
those
said,
were huge in 2018.
Oh yeah, said Den files, DEN files instead of X files,
How Den
Denver files.
files. That's cute.
And then apparently some people, this is according to Stacey, some people got really upset about it and thought that they were making fun, not only making fun of the conspiracy theorists, but hiding in plain sight because now they're getting away with it.
And I
You
love
know?
that a thumbs up emoji just came up on your screen because you disagree
Yeah.
with that so much.
Or it's like, we're getting away with it. Yay!
We've done it. Let's put another swastika on the building and then no one will know that it was us the whole time.
You get it. See,
get
the
it.
Apple even was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Apple
giving
was
you a
like, hey, we actually have like a failsafe where you say that and like we shut off all the graphics.
Honestly, round of applause
Thank
to
you.
Apple.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
Good job,
Okay.
Apple. Wow.
So some
Powerful.
people got very upset because they thought like they were getting mocked for their like original conspiracy theories. And
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then employees
Don't make fun of lizard people.
I know, please.
They're people too.
Employees even made like jokes because I guess there was like a Westin hotel being built next to the airport, and employees got together with Stacey and they made alien shaped skulls to bury in the construction zone in case they ever dig it up and they find aliens.
Wait, like they hid them there?
They hid them.
That's
Yeah.
hysterical.
I will say I have to find the picture and send it to you. Is that the Denver Airport? They opened recently a Voodoo Donuts, which if you
Gio's
are
very into that.
if you're a fan of Voodoo Donuts like I am, that's a big deal. And by the way, I will tell you with full confidence, it is Concourse B where the Voodoo Donuts is because I have been there.
Well, why didn't you say that before the apples? I don't care about the apples.
They're across the way from each other. It's in the food court on
oh my
the
god!
second
So
floor.
now we've got a rivalry going. Well, no, because
but
you love both, I guess.
I love. I got both last time I was there.
Damn.
But when it opened, and I don't know if it's still there, but when it opened, just to lean into the weirdness, they had this large blue alien statue outside of the shop, which I have a picture of. I remember
Oh.
thinking, what's this little alien doing
So you've
here?
already started this the lore that we're creating about
See?
this donut and chocolate shop.
Exactly. And Stacey has also hosted events now called Conspiracy Month, where every week there's a new conspiracy themed event at the airport. One of them was the Conspiracy Theories Uncovered art exhibit. Then there was they offered art installation tours of all the murals that had conspiracy ties to it.
Wow.
Then they had a conspiracy costume party, and then they had a they had a contest where the winner was going to get a behind the scenes tour of the underground tunnels.
What?
I fucking love
and
Stacey.
They've never seen that guy again.
And he went away forever. Yes.
He just disappeared. It has nothing to do with the airport, but
Oh, and that is the Denver Airport, Christine.
that was really good. And it's not your fault it was long. It took us 40 minutes to even start the episode. So that's
Hang
not
on.
on you.
We got barking.
So one of my 2025 goals is to add more protein to my diet. Every time I tell that to someone and they're like, me too. But it's so hard to find protein products that actually taste good. And that is until I found Orgain, which now Blaze and I both have.
Orgain is famous for their organic plant protein powder. It packs 21 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. And all Orgain products are made with USDA certified organic ingredients. So we are getting the nutrition that we know we need without the things that we try to avoid, like soy ingredients, artificial sweeteners, flavors, or preservatives.
And it's so simple. It's made so you can literally just add water and go. There's no more like prep. You don't need to mix and blend a whole thing. You can just toss it in. Or if you want to make something a little fanciful, some protein ice cream, something fun like that, you can do that too.
Plus, they have protein bars, they have shakes, so they have all sorts of nutritional products. Orgain has something that the whole family will love. And remember, there are no quick fixes when it comes to your health, but if you want to try more protein, you can give Orgain organic plant protein powder a try.
Head to Orgain.com/drink and use code DRINK for 30% off your order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our code DRINK for 30% off.
One last time, for 30% off, head to Orgain.com/drink and use our code DRINK. Welcome back from our, by the way, everybody, we just came from a break where we both did a lot of chatter, and hopefully there's...
I gave Em like the backstory of my whole family friend's life for some reason. I don't know.
The chaos is still here, so hopefully it keeps up. Although Christine does have a habit of really bumming the crowd out, so let's see if the chaos can reign over it.
Yeah, after watching CNN for an hour and then like starting my notes, it's really dark days over here.
It sounds like I'm the best part of your day, Christine.
I mean, when are you not? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
All right, this is the story of Robert Bob Samuels and the Green Widow. And I wish it were like a fun comic book, but it's not.
Oh, I was gonna say ooh, but I guess not. Like Green
I-
Widow, like the Black Widow who kills her husbands. But
Maybe.
green. What makes her green? I wonder. Is she vegetarian? Is she
Nope.
a vegan girl? We'll find out.
She loves $1 bills.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
I mean, what vengeful wife who is doing it for the life insurance doesn't love the bills? So I feel like,
Yeah.
Green, it's like, I
the
guess.
Green Widow actually sounds more honest than the Black Widow.
Yeah. You know what? It's probably a truer statement. That's right.
Mhm.
Anyway, so on that note, here we go. By the way, there's a photo that goes along with the Green Widow term, but you'll get that later.
Excellent.
So let's tell the story. Bob Samuels was born in 1948. He grew up in California's San Fernando Valley, and friends say he was a kind and gentle soul. He was very shy, very introverted, and guess what? He had a crush on the girl next door.
Aw.
Her name was Mary Ellen Gurnick, and she lived down the street, and she was a little bit older than him, so he was super intimidated by her, and she was like really pretty and popular, and he had just the biggest crush on her. But unlike Bob, Mary Ellen was very outgoing. She liked to spend her time out and about. She went to dances. Like boys always kind of gravitated toward her, so he was like, I don't stand
Yeah.
a chance.
I'm not in her wheelhouse.
Exactly. So her friends even described her that way, like, she always got all the boys when we went out and stuff like that. And so he kind of had a crush on her for years, but never really asked her out. Instead, he hung out with his own friends, one of whom was called Judy McCoy. And she and Bob met when she was 11, and he had befriended her older brother. And over time, the family just took Bob in almost as their own. He basically considered this family, the McCoys, like a second family of his. And Judy herself also thought of Bob as just a genuinely kind, sincere person. When they grew up, they said he was always happy to help neighbors. He was just always, if somebody needed like financial help, he would loan money. He was just like that guy that people just felt safe around.
Mhm.
And he actually became a camera operator for Hollywood studios. Fun fact.
Fun.
I know. And he worked on 1980s hits, and he got pretty successful. Like he did quite a few big productions. He did the whole
What'd he do?
Lethal Weapon. He worked the Lethal Weapon franchise. And some other big names. And it's so funny. Let me pull up. I've been meaning to pull this up like all day, and I keep forgetting. So I just watched Brittany Vaughn, who is a YouTuber that I'm only now discovering, but she covered this story, and she's like clearly younger than us, and she was like saying all these 80s movies, and then she's like, I just said those because they sounded like what you would want to hear
You know
on the
what?
list. And I
Speaking
was
of
like,
honest,
girl, yeah, because I was also like, I feel like and it's not because I'm young, it's because I just never watched the classic movies, but
she could have said it in a way that hurts my feelings less.
I
But
know
that's
it
fine.
was very funny. I was like, wow,
It's like
yeah.
you're right. My dad did love that movie.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
exactly. Tell it like it is. So he had a reputation as just being very respectful, kind, generous, and just a hard worker in general. And in 1979, he goes to his high school reunion, and who does he
Mhm.
see but a little Mary Ellen? And guess what? She's divorced.
Hello. Also, like now
Hello.
he gets to do his whole little Hollywood spiel of like,
You
"Am
hit
I in
it
your
on the
wheelhouse
head.
now, girl? Hey."
100%. That's like the dream we all have, right? Like going back and being like, oh, who me? Yeah.
If you had to, let's say you're not with Blaze, you're divorced. You're
Mhm.
going to like a singles mingle kind of thing.
Mhm.
What's your one little flex you're going to try to throw out and see if that gains interest?
Oh my God. Uh-oh.
Did
Does
they
the
both
dog
just
hear?
start barking at the same time?
They must hear each other, like, right? With their dog ears?
I don't
Wait, I
know.
never thought about this, that we could create the world's worst echo chamber, like podcast dogs. Like, it would just never stop, right?
Now
What do other
that
people do?
I don't know.
Do people not have dogs? I'm like spiraling. What the fuck? I need to
Are
like
you
take
high?
a breath.
Did
No,
you
I
take a
no.
vape?
Honestly, I fucking wish, but no. I took a aspirin. Maybe I'm having an allergic reaction. Okay. Sorry. So he goes to a high school reunion, right?
Oh,
And
sorry. Wait, your flex. You got to tell me your one flex.
oh, sorry. Yeah. What? Sorry. So this is to like pitch myself.
Yeah, like if someone if you're actually trying to
Oh.
woo someone and they're like, "What's an interesting fact about you?"
Hmm.
And if you give me
Ooh.
an interesting enough one, I'll give you a little kissy.
Oh my God. Oh gosh, the pressure. Okay.
To be fair, I don't know what my answer is. I'm totally
Oh
putting you on the spot.
no, that's okay. Well, that's more fun because then we can both be on the spot. Um, I think like the time that Alexis dropped Chris Jenner's omelet, and I had to like go explain it to her and ask for the new order of it. The new order. Oh my God, Christine,
Oh,
is
it
she in
all
the?
makes
It's
sense.
happening. The Den Files now on HBO. The Linda's feather. Okay, sorry, I can't stop myself. I think there was something in that aspirin.
it was actually, what is it, that Australian antigen or whatever.
Oh my God. It was AG. Stupid. Okay. Anyway, I think I would say like, oh, the time I had to like fix Kris Jenner a new omelet because Alexis dropped hers and she was just so kind about it. And I was like,
Mhm.
that was just one of those moments where you're like, wow, I didn't expect that you would be like the nicest celebrity I ever interacted with of all people. I'm sure so a lot of it is just she's a smart marketing person, but
But it worked.
it worked, and I don't know. That was
I mean,
pretty.
we're here now telling the masses that Kris
Right.
Jenner's nice.
That's right.
So.
Exactly. She was very kind to two PAs who really fucked up. So I don't know. What would yours be though? Because I'm sure I'll come up with a better one later, like a more interesting one. But
In moments like this, because I have a hard time saying nice things about myself. I know that's hard to believe, but
wow.
but when like I have no problem talking about myself, but then if it comes like actually like what's something you're
Like,
proud of, I
right.
always
Like
black
step up
out.
and say it out loud. No, yeah. That's I mean, my thing was that I fucked something up. Like it wasn't a good
Right.
thing about me. It was that Kris Jenner was nice, not that anything good happened because of me.
I learned from a while ago from a friend that if you can't come up with a way to like be proud of yourself, the way you should start a sentence is, my friends would want me to tell you.
Oh, that's clever. That's really clever.
So my friends would want me to tell someone probably about the Stranger Things Eggo waffle box.
That's
that
good.
I made.
I would tell them about the carrot thing. So it depends on the audience.
What is the carrot thing?
The carrot Cheetos.
Oh, see, yeah, okay. So
because
props
that,
in general.
yeah, props. Props. The other thing I was gonna say, oh, if I started it with my friends would want you to know, it would be not good because it would be like, oh, she found Patrick Stum's home phone number one time, but he was on tour, so it forwarded to his aunt, and then she like hung up because she was too scared, and then the phone had been blocked. So I feel like no matter what I start the sentence with, it's like something bad that happened.
Like, as your friend, if you need a filler, just say, my friend who confirmed
Did
this
that.
would want you to know that I'm a fucking psycho.
Okay, Em sent me a TikTok the other day of a girl like laying in her ex's yard with a blanket on, pretending to be snow, and then she would like throw a snowball at his window and hide, and he would come to the window, and she had like propped up a fucking phone to film it, and I was like, and goes, I know you would do this, and I didn't watch it for like a day because I was like, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, but it is very accurate. But I like I said, I wouldn't do it to my ex. I would do it to someone like so random and insignificant, like a teacher, like somebody like really inappropriate, but like
your
just
postman.
yeah, like, right, because I'm like fixated for some reason that's not like even romance. It's just like unhinged behavior. Anyway,
Do you see how red my face is?
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, he's about
Anyway.
to do the whole, my friends would want me to tell you
I
to
work
Miss
for the lethal,
Mary Ellen or whatever. her
yeah,
name
the
is.
lethal weapon franchise, and that probably really got her because within 6 months they were married.
Damn, he knew exactly what to say.
Yeah. So he was not shy anymore. They got married. They moved into a house in an LA suburb, and he was just like totally smitten. I mean, it was like, oh, my lifelong love. You know, my crush is now back in my life. It's just this huge love story. And so
Which
Mary,
is so lovely, by the way, because if I had to marry my high school sweetheart or the person I was crushing on, I would not have that same reaction.
imagine. I was even today thinking like, oh, thank God that didn't work out. You know.
Yeah, if I went to a school reunion and I saw the person I was in love with, we would maybe.
Do you know what you would say? You'd say, oh, guess what? One time I got Patrick Stum's phone number, and you'd like lie and just make yourself sound like a psycho. You're like, I know what drives people away. The things Christine does.
Exactly. Sorry, carry on. I keep interrupting you. Sorry.
No. So anyway, so he tells her like all the right things, makes his move, and he's just smitten with her. They move into a house in an LA suburb. Now, Mary Ellen, like I said, is divorced, and she actually has a daughter named Nicole, And he was like thrilled to have a stepdaughter now. He actually ended up legally adopting her and became her father. And it just was like his greatest joy. He loved being a dad. And Bob's professional and personal life were both going swimmingly for a few years. But then he and Mary Ellen started to clash over finances because remember, she liked the money.
Miss Greenie.
Miss Greenie. And so people close to them said Mary Ellen wanted this like lavish lifestyle that he could not afford. I mean, he's successful, but he's not like, you know, running the Lethal Weapon franchise money. You know what I mean? He's just a successful dude, average
Right.
successful dude. And she loved spending money. It was like her favorite pastime. I mean, relatable.
Been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that time I bought something to look in the walls of my house for no reason and then had to like have a talk to Jesus. What is it? Come to Jesus moment with myself.
I truly don't. I like had to. I actively have to tell myself to not go on Etsy.com
It's
because
bad.
something will get purchased.
I have to delete all these apps. It's terrible. Anyway, so now with this Apple Pay that you were telling me all about, it's like,
All I need is
jeez.
my face to
It's
pay.
just like, oh no, yeah, that's really dangerous stuff. Okay, so Bob was like, let me give her a new hobby. How about I will buy a Subway sandwich franchise? And so he buys a Subway sandwich franchise and he's like, here you go. And like kind of lets her run it as like, here, you can do this now as a hobby or something. I don't know.
Great hobby.
Yeah, I guess. And so she like took it over and wanted to like run it and make some money for herself, you know, and like be, so that was kind of the idea. And so she managed the place. And they did obviously have some extra income from this. And so that bolstered their finances a bit. But 6 years into their marriage, Bob got home to like what this YouTuber I was talking about or somebody. Oh, no. It was not the YouTuber. She's too young for a reference like this. A Dear John letter on the counter. Basically Mary Ellen told Bob like I'm out of here. Goodbye forever. And he was like totally
Oh my god.
like
Can you imagine?
devastated.
Can you imagine having the girl of your dreams in high school thinking you can never get her, then you finally do, and then she goes, I don't like this.
Oh, and you adopt her daughter and you try to make it work. And it
Oh
it
my
was
God.
it was devastating. And so he literally tried everything, you know, he was determined to make it work. He agreed to a trial separation. Mary Ellen moved into a nearby condo with Nicole. They moved out. And Bob paid for the condo. He paid for their living expenses. Like he just wanted her back so badly. And she just kept managing the sandwich shop. And they reportedly remained on friendly terms to co-parent Nicole. But 2 years later, this would be 2 years into their separation,
Mhm.
in 1988, Mary Ellen and Nicole stopped by Bob's house to drop off the dog before a trip that they're taking. And they stopped by the house um, to drop the dog off. And when they got there, Bob didn't answer the door. So they bang on it for a while. And then eventually they let themselves in. And Bob was laying on the floor dead at only
Oh.
40 years old.
Oof.
And at this point, Nicole is 18. She is one of them calls 911, obviously, and Mary Ellen and 18-year-old Nicole are both just like seemingly in total shock by this. They tell detectives like they don't think Bob has any enemies. They can't imagine who would want to hurt him. And Mary Ellen immediately agrees to a polygraph test and passes it. Her financial disagreements, she kept saying like that wasn't even extreme for what like people were saying, you know, maybe it was the finances, but it just didn't seem extreme enough. There wasn't enough evidence.
Right.
And so they quickly ruled her and Nicole out as suspects and kind of didn't have many leads. So they started looking into basically every corner of Bob's life. They spoke to friends, family, coworkers.
The cast of Lethal Weapon.
Oh, man. You know, they had some stories to tell. They questioned all of the employees at the Subway sandwich shop, hoping for a tip. They spoke to people in film who worked with him. And it turned out that the IRS had actually charged some of Bob's industry colleagues for crimes involving tax evasion, and Bob had agreed to testify against them at trial on behalf of the IRS. And so a lot of people were pretty pissed at him. But at the same time, when they talked to those folks, they were like, well, yeah, we're pissed at him because he's kind of a jerk for doing that, but not like pissed enough to kill the guy, you know?
Right.
And so the detectives were like, well, you know, it could be. This is clearly a personal like thing. Maybe it was maybe
His
it
wife?
was well, maybe it was somebody who was just pissed off that he was gonna testify against him. Maybe it got out of hand. And the murder itself was very personal. He had been home alone, walking through the house in his underwear of all things, which is like I mean, talk about it's like getting caught with your pants down. You know that saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ,
Like
this guy's
actually.
like actually, he's like walking around in his underwear, and somebody just attacked him by basically hitting him over the head with a tubular, like a metal tubular object, and they said
Huh.
most likely the barrel of a shotgun.
Oh, okay. Hitting someone with a gun is not the way I think would do you in if a gun was part of the weapon.
And then putting a pillow over his face and shooting him multiple times through the pillow.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
it was basically to debilitate him,
Sure. Got
and
it.
then finish the job. Um, and I mean, at first things were like a bit in disarray, so they thought maybe this is a burglary, but there was like one of the drawers was just there with $6,000 of cash in it, and nobody had touched it. And
Right. So
it
it's
was
definitely not a
like
financial thing. Or it
it
seems
doesn't feel like a robbery because they would have like found that most likely looking through drawers and stuff. Um, and so just a little odd. There was also a glass sliding door that was 6 inches ajar, where the killer probably entered. And after they knocked him to the ground, they used the pillow as sort of a makeshift silencer, shot him at close range. And there was no
way.
forensic evidence they could find. The only identifiable fingerprints belonged to like people whose fingerprints were expected to be there. Bob, Mary Ellen, Nicole. Other fingerprints, some of them were partial and unusable, and they were like, we don't even know if this was just a house guest or like
Right.
the killer. So the
Right.
detective's only hope was to try and like make a connection in Bob's life that would reveal some sort of motive.
And by the way, how old is Nicole in this?
She's 18.
And she just walked in on this with
Hmm.
her dad like that? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the tax situation, they were like, the detectives were like, okay, this seems like a break, like a good break in the case. But in the end, it just kind of was a runaround, like a red herring. One of them had even left the country and like wasn't even in the picture when Bob vanished, or sorry, when Bob was killed. Like they weren't even around. Um, then Bob's friends reported another lead. Bob was actually dating a woman who was married.
Oh, that'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yep. Turns out Bob and Mary Ellen had recently like officially decided to call their relationship off amidst their separation. And they had become pretty estranged over the past 2 years, and Bob was pretty lonely. And his childhood friend Judy, that I had mentioned earlier, whose family like had become a second family to him, she introduced him to a friend who was in a similar situation and was also separated from her estranged husband. So it was sort of like, oh, you should meet my other divorcee friend.
Great.
And
Okay.
yeah. And so they started dating, and they just, they needed companionship and they got along really well. And so the two of them started dating. But she was not on good terms with her husband, who was reportedly pretty controlling and abusive. And Judy, his friend, said that this friend that she introduced him to used to have to ask her husband for permission to like meet up with Judy for coffee,
Ooh.
like just very hugely red flag abusive
Ooh.
behavior. And so basically breaking free of her husband and then dating and sleeping with Bob and going to his house looked like a pretty strong motive for like an abuser who's controlling.
Totally.
And so investigators start looking into his background and discover he's a former police officer with domestic violence complaints who owns at least one gun. And they're like, well, this seems like a good direction.
Not looking good.
Yeah, not looking good for him anyway. He worked as a security guard at a nightclub, and investigators went and spoke to his boss. And basically, based on Bob's estimated time of death, the suspect was definitely at work while Bob was killed. So there's just
Okay.
no way that this could have been him. That was another dead end, and they really didn't have much to go on. They were like kind of at a loss, and months just passed. I think it was like 5 months passed, and the case started to cool. Mary Ellen and Nicole tried to get back to their normal lives. They moved back into Bob's house, which is like where they had lived before this condo. And Mary Ellen put the sandwich shop up for sale, and got the life insurance money as a payout to support her and Nicole. Now, Bob's case might have been doomed to a filing cabinet, but a call came into the homicide division from a man who said, I know everything. Dun, dun,
Oh
dun.
my God.
He says, in fact, I know the person who killed him.
Can I guess? Can I
Sure.
guess?
Yeah, yeah.
What, like who the guy is? Who
Oh, sure,
this
sure, sure.
deep throat fella is? Um,
That's what they
is
call him.
is he from Subway,
Is he from Subway?
where she worked and she have like the franchise?
She is not. He is not from Subway.
Damn. I thought
It's
like maybe he had overheard her at work or something.
Oh, it's a good guess though. It is a very good guess. But they did interview all the employees and stuff there, and nobody had any motive, so that was kind of a dead end. But basically, this guy calls and says, "I know who killed him." And they say, "Oh, okay, can you let me know?" And he said, "You got to find this guy named Jim Bernstein." So they look into this guy, Jim Bernstein. Background research found that Jim had been charged on several drug-related offenses. He was out of prison, so that was like a sign that this could be the right guy. And he had been dating a certain Nicole, who just so happened to be the daughter of a certain murder victim. So what a weird connection.
Mm.
And turns out this was one of Nicole's, a guy she had been seeing, Jim Bernstein, with quite a rap sheet. And so when detectives went to Mary Ellen and Nicole's house, they didn't tell Nicole that Jim was a suspect. They were like, "Oh, just do you know this
Gotcha.
guy? Like, have you heard of him?" And she's like, "Oh, we just like casually friends, you know." So they bring Jim and Mary Ellen in for questioning together, trying to get a picture of the connection between Jim and the family, the Samuels family,
Sure.
and a confession out of Jim. But Mary Ellen like didn't really say much. Jim was adamant he had nothing to do with this whole situation. And again, this was a tip, but it was an anonymous tip, and it was just hearsay at the end of the day. Like they couldn't
Right.
really do anything. So they had to let Jim go. Mary Ellen went home.
Did they
Then
fingerprint him or anything?
suddenly, well, he'd already been in prison, so there's
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Then Jim disappeared.
Oh, he was a flight risk, you say?
Isn't that weird? So
Interessante.
investigators spoke to his boss, who said Jim hadn't been at work in days. His boss also said that Jim used to talk about Bob, the murder victim, at work.
Uh-oh, Jimmy.
Jim apparently despised Bob, and this was like an open secret to basically everybody. Like he couldn't stop talking about it. He apparently hated Bob so much because he had heard that Bob abused his girlfriend Nicole, had sexually abused his girlfriend Nicole throughout her childhood.
Oh, shit.
And so he had this like vendetta against Bob. And Jim's boss said that Jim believed Bob deserved to be punished for what he had done to Nicole. But after supposedly killing Bob, Jim had lost his resolve. He was scared and remorseful. And the last time Jim and his boss spoke, Jim said he was going to go to the police and tell them everything.
Jimothy.
So, if Jim had killed Bob in an attempt to protect and avenge a woman he cared about, it did line up with like how personal the attack was.
Yeah.
And there were no police reports backing up this story of sexual abuse, and it wasn't mentioned in the divorce filings, which seemed odd. And it wasn't mentioned in any of the interrogations with Mary Ellen. Not
And Nicole's not
interrogations,
saying
but
anything about it.
conversations. Yeah, with Nicole and Mary Ellen, nobody said anything. But of course, like sexual abuse often goes unreported. Like not that surprising of a thing. So they, wanted to ask Nicole directly. But that's too bad. She's in Cancun with her mom. And that's
Why?
convenient.
What do they...
They're
How
just
do you
on
vacation after this?
they're just on a vacation in Cancun, and the weirdest thing happens, which is that suddenly during this trip and after Jim's disappearance, when he said to his boss, "I'm going to tell the police everything," Jim winds up dead.
Oh.
So it's June of 1989. Someone discovers his remains on a trail, and he had been exposed to the elements and only identifiable by his fingerprints. So they did take his fingerprints at some point, and now they knew that he had been strangled to death on this trail and been left there.
Shit.
So he had not been he was probably a flight risk, but he had not fled. He had actually been killed. And so
Gotcha.
Jim's brother, who was like really worried about his brother all the time because he knew he was working in these shady businesses, was always so afraid that he would be killed. And now that this had actually happened, his worst nightmare, he basically said, "Go talk to Dave. That's Jim's like buddy. If you want to know what happened to Jim, you got to go talk to Dave." Turns out Dave was the anonymous caller, the tipster.
Interesting. So wait, hang on now.
I know, it's so complicated.
So Dave reported his brother for potential murder?
No, sorry. Jim's brother said, "Go talk to Dave. That's who you want to talk to." Jim and Dave were BFFs. Jim's brother, Jim's killed, and then his brother is like his closest buddy is this guy, Dave. Go talk to Dave.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm piecing it together. Okay, sorry.
No.
Combined two people.
It's very confusing. And so then the police went to Dave, and turns out Dave was like, yeah, I'm the one who called you about Jim.
Yes. Okay, I
And-
combined the brother and Dave. The
Yes.
brother and the friend. So the friend Dave was turning
Jim
his
in.
friend Jim in.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. He said, yep, I'm the caller, the anonymous caller who reported Jim in the first place. And so according to him, Jim did not murder Bob for vigilante justice. He said Jim was hired to kill Bob by Mary Ellen, so he was a hitman. He said that Mary Ellen had actually hired Jim because she wanted ownership of the sandwich shop and Bob's $500,000 life insurance policy. So when Mary Ellen and Nicole returned from Mexico and are like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, things are getting a little fishy around here. They both clam up and refuse to speak to police. So they...
And sorry, I keep interrupting you
please,
for
go ahead.
clarification. So are we now at an understanding that Jim was never dating Nicole, and the whole story about Nicole was a cover up for Jim, so he didn't have to say he was a hitman?
Jim and Nicole were dating.
They were dating. He also happened to be the hitman.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Correct. And so they arrested Mary Ellen, and because they believed the story that she had hired him and had known him like through Nicole as as her boyfriend, basically as Nicole's boyfriend. So most of the evidence against her was witness testimony, and they didn't really have much physical evidence. So this was going to be kind of like an uphill battle. So Jim had made phone calls to Mary Ellen's house the night Bob was killed, but that could have been like, oh, he was in a relationship with Nicole. Maybe he just called to talk to her. So all the evidence they had was like a little bit flimsy. Mary Ellen also made multiple payments to Jim from the sandwich shop account, but she claimed he had been working there part-time. So you sort of were onto it,
Oh, look at me go.
except I don't think he ever actually did work there. She just said, oh, he would just take up a shift every now and then. That's why I was paying him out of the Subway account.
Gotcha.
And it's also plausible, like, oh, he's dating my daughter. Like, they could write this off. Like,
There's
her
a lot
attorneys
of
could-
ways he could weave in
spin
and out.
this.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so detectives also discovered a $6,000 payment to a woman named Ann Hambley. And this is Mary Ellen's friend, who also appeared in Jim's phone call records the days before he was killed, which is also very odd. Anne met with the police at her lawyer's office, which I love.
Of course. She was like, before
She's like,
anything
"Come here."
happens.
She's like, you come to me.
Yeah.
And she secured complete immunity, which, wow, she's just like,
Go Anne Hambley,
I
damn.
know. She's like, I'm not fucking around here. She secured complete immunity in exchange for her testimony on Bob's and Jim's deaths. So she absolutely turned on her friend immediately.
I like how this whole story is just don't trust your fucking friends because they are going
Literally-
to turn you in.
I mean, honestly, you say a word and like things are gonna go south. Like you just can't.
Yeah.
You just can't say a thing. You're gonna get screwed.
If you ever do anything shady and I end up getting an appointment at a lawyer's office, look out, girl.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I know that already. So Anne was in debt to Mary Ellen, but Mary Ellen said she would forgive her debt, like her financial debt to her, if you could help me find someone to kill Jim Bernstein, basically, is
Bold
what
sentence.
she told Anne.
As close as we are, I'd still be nervous to say that sentence to you.
I would still not trust a single person to say that out loud and be like,
There are
just
inside
kidding.
thoughts.
There are inside thoughts. That's exactly right.
No matter how close you are to somebody, there's always at least one inside thought.
And we're podcasters, okay? So we don't really know much about inside thoughts, but like that, come on.
Our life is a yapathon, but there are still some things that you just don't fucking say.
I know, right? And that is exactly right, because she is like, well, am I going to be safe? They're like, yeah. And she's like, fine, I'll spill everything. So basically she called me and wanted me to find someone to kill the hitman who murdered her husband. And it's like, wow, okay.
And what were Anne Hambley's credentials to do that, by the way? How was she supposed to find a murderer and just...
I'll tell you, literally, she started seeking out potential hitmen wherever she could. She would go out with her friends and be like, does anyone know a hitman?
Anne Hambley. For a second, I thought she really had
like
strategy as a
She's
strength.
so savvy, but not, it's like she's so savvy. And then it's like, girl, what? Hold on.
And then also, like, are any of your friends going to honestly say yes if they know one?
And again, you're yapping. You're
Yeah.
yapping more and more to more people. What are you doing? Like, of course
Yeah.
someone's going to say, talk to Anne Hambley. She's asking me about hitmen for no reason.
Verbal trail.
I mean, just stupid. So she went out with friends and was like, "Hey, do you know anyone?" And apparently Anne, which Brittany, who I watch on YouTube, was so funny about this. Anne's boyfriend was named Paul Gall, and
That's
it's
funny.
like she's like, "Why would his parents do that?" Paul Gall, he recommended somebody as a hitman. He's like, "I know a person." He recommends this guy Daryl Edwards. So Paul is like, "I'll help." Paul Gall. Paul's like, "Hey, Anne, I know you have this debt, so I'll help. I'll help kill this hitman with my hitman." It's just like so crazy.
Honestly,
So
Paul sounds like a real fucking friend so far. He's like, I'm in it with you. Here's
yeah,
a hitman.
he's like, "Oh, I'm your boyfriend, so I guess I need to do this service for you. I'll
A
find you a
real
hitman."
homie.
Yeah. So he finds this hitman, and he goes with the hitman to lure the other hitman, Jim, to lure him out on a drug run. Like, they're basically like, "Hey, Jim, can you come with us? Like, we're going on this like drug run. We need some backup, whatever." And apparently he was like, "I don't really feel like it." And they were like, "Well, you have to come." Like, because that's where we're going to
Awkward.
murder you. Oh, come on. And
Awkward.
so, yeah, awkward because they talk him into it. And he's basically in the passenger seat. They drive down this remote trail and they fucking strangle him from behind the car seat. Like, just reach over and start strangling him. But he fucking gets out. So he literally, apparently, starts screaming so loud that the driver, whoever, I don't know if it was Paul or Daryl, but one of them punched him. But by punching him, they punched the guy who was strangling him by mistake. So Jim got out of the car. He managed to escape and he was like running and they ended up killing him out on the trail. And that's how they like ended up with his and
Ugh.
killing him. And then they went and just dumped him on the side of like on the side of a road. They threw his belongings over the edge of like a ravine and just left him there. Imagine being like to your girlfriend like, "Oh, I'll take care of it."
Also, imagine like someone hearing us talk about this at lunch. Like this is.
Oh yeah.
I just heard it in a moment where I was like, if I heard, I would halt whatever conversation I was having if I overheard this. Oh, and then they killed them at the ravine. I mean, really got to say, Christine, this story it's not even finished. It's one of my favorites because this is such a gossipy tale.
Oh, you're so right. Because it's like, what were they dating? Yeah, they actually were. But were they hitmen? Yes, also that.
There's such a network of people who kind of
Why is
do
everyone's
shady stuff.
boyfriend of hitman all of a
Yeah.
sudden?
How I've never heard a story where there were two hitmen involved.
Like killing other hitmen. Yeah, it's
like
just
how
like
do you find two
bizarro.
hitmen?
Well, you go out to lunch and you ask around, and then your boyfriend ends up being the one to know a hitman, and is also a hitman apparently.
Oh,
It's just
God.
like, what in the world? It's just so crazy. Like, it just seems absolutely convoluted, like so convoluted. So anyway, both men accept second-degree murder convictions and 15 years to life to testify against Mary Ellen. So everyone is just like fucking abandoning Mary Ellen now because she's like pushed her luck, I think, a little too far. And
Well, they're also like, so I'm being interrogated. You get to go to fucking Cancun and pretend like nothing happened.
Exactly. Like that, she was never going to get away with that. Are you kidding?
No.
So yeah, so she went to trial in 1994 in the spring. And the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt was on the prosecution, who, of course, had just witness testimony for the most part. Mary Ellen's friends testified that she had been talking about hiring a hitman to kill Bob for months before it happened. One friend later said she just didn't seem to care who heard her soliciting his murder. So, like, it is
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. You could have heard this at lunch, you know? Before she hired Jim, she even told friends she'd paid thousands of dollars to one man who failed to kill Bob, and she was like really frustrated that the deal fell through and that she lost all this money. And people were like, but I'm like, why didn't anyone say anything?
Like, why aren't your friends? I mean, like, was Bob just terrible? Like,
No.
nobody thought, wow, she's really serious. She's gonna kill him. We should do
Yes,
something.
maybe they just didn't think it was real. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around it.
I wonder if there was a group chat away from her where they were all like, is this like a joke I don't
Like,
get? Like,
yeah.
did you guys, was there an inside
Are
joke
we
I
all
missed last
playing
time?
along? Like, is this right?
Anyone else not awkward laughing
Anyone
with
feel
all
out
of
of
that?
the loop? Yeah, or like a little worried? Anyone want to send an anonymous tip in?
You got to pull the
maybe?
Christine of like, I think I'm just a little
I
confused.
think I would just like you to please explain that to me for like
I
I'm
think I
really
missed
stupid.
something. Like, is she's not really trying to kill him, right? But
Here,
then
I'm
also
just gonna
maybe,
slide my phone. Can you say it a little louder into the speaker?
but then also like maybe her own friends were like, I couldn't possibly even ask that question because why would I think my friend would seriously kill her husband? You know, like
Right,
maybe
right.
there's like a mental game there of
There
like
must
everyone
be.
tricked themselves out of asking.
I mean, there must be, and maybe she just didn't even know them well enough. Like it wasn't a deep enough friendship where they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
she's serious," you know? And so basically it was discovered also that when Bob decided to officially divorce Mary Ellen 2 months before she was killed, he was unemployed and he wanted to keep the sandwich shop and wanted to pay like a lot less in spousal support because he couldn't afford more because she had like
Mm.
spent so much of his money. And so Mary Ellen found out like, shit, I'm going to lose this lifestyle if we get divorced. So how convenient he died before the divorce was final. And she acquired the $500,000 life insurance policy. So, of course, the prosecution focused on portraying Mary Ellen as selfish and money hungry, hence the Green Widow. She apparently took that $500,000. She purchased her new boyfriend a $50,000, I think it was a Cadillac.
How
She,
is anyone dating her not worried that they're next?
I mean, right? And it's like the 90s. So $50,000 for, it's
I feel
like,
like this is a goodbye gift or
this is
something.
yeah, something terrible is about to happen, and she spent nearly $200,000 on a home in Cancun because she wanted to move there. I wonder why. And one one piece of evidence in particular turned a lot of people against her, and this was the photo that I need you to now Google,
Okay.
which is Mary Ellen Samuels. Well, I guess that wasn't her legal name, but Mary Ellen Samuels. Money. I guess just type in money.
Oh my God. Is it her lying in bed like that?
Yeah. So there's
What
like this
the hell?
picture of her like covered in I think it's $20,000 of cash. Um and
Uh,
this photo basically was shown in court and the jury was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, what the
And
hell's going on
just like
here?
turned against her because of this because it just is like she basically, yes, $20,000 in bills and she's just like lying there in the bed like is she naked? I don't remember.
You can't
Under
really,
the
I mean,
It's hard to
yeah,
tell.
pretty
Yeah, yeah.
much.
So she's
She's,
like basically like topless under the $20,000 laying in bed, and it's like they basically use that as kind of like a trump card, like, oh yeah, she wasn't doing it for the money, you know. And of course,
yeah,
it's very sensational.
bad
Um,
look.
yeah, yeah, bad look for sure. And the investigators believed like this is exactly the vibe that they needed to get across. Like, just look at this picture and you'll understand.
Oh my God.
But Mary Ellen and Nicole, of course, told a different story. They told this story that Bob was like this horrible, abusive guy. Nicole testified on her mom's behalf and said like Bob was hitting and raping her when she was 12 years old.
What the
And
hell?
Nicole described Bob like slapping her if she prepared the dog's food wrong, dumping ice on her head to wake her up. Like she was saying all this stuff about her dad. She said she kept the abuse secret as a child because she was afraid it would destroy her parents' relationship. But she and Mary Ellen, her mom, were the only ones to ever like have any of this kind of story, and it was only after the trial began. So it was like,
Hmm.
why didn't you say that before when
Right.
we were questioning you in relation to this? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just a little bizarre. Um, and Mary Ellen actually claimed that's why she was divorcing him. So it's like, well, that's weird. It's not in any of the paperwork. It's not in any of the reports. It's just a little strange. And one of Nicole's high school friends did testify that she had heard Nicole talking about this before, the abuse. And the friend said that Nicole asked for help acquiring a gun because Bob was abusive and she wanted a gun. But Bob's family refused to believe this. They were like, there is literally no way in hell. And it's hard to say because it's like, of course, if this is someone you know in your family, like
Yeah.
it's like, of course I believe you, but also it's like, you never know with people.
I
So
mean, yeah, like she
it's a
could be telling the
hard,
truth, but also like I can't imagine being in her position where she's like maybe she's like just as manipulative as her mom and like they were in cahoots with each other, but also it sounds like I would be worried like, oh my God, if she's willing to like kill her husband of 6 years, like maybe I need to act right and like look like I'm on her side so she doesn't hurt me.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, right. And it could very well be like an extremely codependent relationship where she feels like she has to support her, yeah, or else she's
Yeah,
in danger.
so
Exactly.
you don't
Yeah.
even know if that story
How
is true or if
much
she's just trying to protect her mom so it looks legit or
You know what? That's a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. So with all that said, of course, Bob's family was like that. There's no way in hell. Like he and Nicole, he loved Nicole more than anything. And basically, they believed that Nicole would say anything because Mary Ellen, her mom, was up for the death penalty, and they were like,
Mm.
she just is trying her best to defend her
So yeah.
mom and throwing out what she can think of, is what his family believed. Um, I mean, Bob's sister, Susan, even said in an interview, after all, she's fighting for her mother's life. So it's like,
Mm.
wow. Um, so whether the jury believed Bob was abusing Mary Ellen and Nicole, they did believe the many testimonies that Mary Ellen had spent months publicly soliciting hitmen to kill Bob. That was like pretty hard to dispute because literally everyone was like, oh yeah, she told me that too. You know, it's like not
Like
all these people
insane.
are lying.
I
Not all
don't think
these people
I've
are lying.
maybe it's because like it's I don't know how you think you were gonna get away with it at
I
that
think you're
point.
just so narcissistic that your view of the world is like, oh, well, I can get away with it because it's me, because I'm me. You know, like
Yeah.
some
Or
people are
like
just don't have
my
a
friends are so
sense.
loyal, why they would never say
Like,
anything.
why would they say
Something.
anything against me? It's like you're so delulu, so to speak, that you can't even like
Mm.
rationalize that other people would have a problem with that, you know? So she was sentenced to death.
Damn, didn't see that
I
coming.
know. I didn't either. I really didn't. She was found guilty, sentenced to death. And like as Nicole, I mean, that's so scary. But in
Mhm.
2019, her sentence was commuted to life without parole.
Okay.
The ruling found that Mary Ellen's sentence was largely influenced by, quote, bad character evidence, such as references to her drug use. She would like supply Nicole with alcohol when she was underage, like just things that didn't seem relevant, but they were basically saying like, oh, they're saying they smeared her character and it wasn't constitutional or whatever. It wasn't like it. Basically, they changed her sentence. She was no longer on death
Mhm.
row. So the ruling stated that her defense counsel failed to follow the necessary channels to omit some of this irrelevant information, and perhaps it swayed the jury, even though it probably didn't, because it's like pretty obvious what happened. But whatever.
Right.
So Mary Ellen has since been dubbed the Green Widow, which is the reference to the pile of cash um, covered in money. And oh, you know what I didn't realize, which I had not seen before, and literally just read in the notes that I've read 3 times, so I don't know how I missed this. That was the money she had collected from Bob's life insurance policy.
Oh, that's bad.
I did not know that. And
Well,
it was not mentioned.
that's makes sense then why they were not very kind.
That really changes the game because I'm like, I watched that YouTube thing and I watched like an actual like episode from the 90s, or I think it was from the 90s about this. It was Snapped, or no, it was not the 90s. It was like from '06 or something, but it was an episode of Snapped on Oxygen, and like nobody mentioned that it was that money, which I mean, now I don't know, I just who knows, but
That totally makes sense why the jury was a little less sensitive
yeah, it's
about
not like this was her in college and like she won big at the casino. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because that I feel like is less. It's like,
Mhm.
wow. So anyway, Nicole, for what it's worth, has never been charged for any involvement in her father's or Jim's deaths. But yeah, so it turns out Mary Ellen, she had her husband killed, then had her daughter's boyfriend killed because he was involved.
Wow.
Wow, talk about drama.
Talk about drama. And how old is Nicole today?
You know, I don't actually know. I just literally closed my notes.
Oh,
So
that's fine. But
no
I mean,
idea.
it's still like I can't imagine going through all that, walking in on your dad dead at 18.
But then
First
some
of all,
people
6 years before that,
but a lot of
what?
people say she was involved, that it was her, like her boyfriend. She was like, I know somebody. I mean, apparently everybody in this story knows a fucking hitman openly.
Apparently so. Like, what town
Like,
are
what's
they
going?
in?
Fucking San Fernando Valley, like next to you, next door. Okay, be careful out there.
No,
Um,
but I mean, even still, like to see that at 18, just like
no,
because
of course.
maybe
Whether
she
she was involved or
was,
not, it's deeply traumatic. And like, who knows if even if she was involved, like, who knows if this was just? I mean, she's 18. She'd been
and
literally a minor before that.
even if she was involved, maybe she didn't know like, oh, my own mom's gonna walk me right into
It's like
seeing him without a
yeah, who
face,
knows?
like.
Right. Oh my God. Like maybe this was manipulation. Who knows? So
Because maybe it was like, oh yeah, something's gonna happen. He's not gonna be with us for much longer, and
that's
then,
horrible. It's horrible. Now her
but
mom's
then
in
you walk in.
prison for life. It's like now you lose both parents. I mean, it's just devastating.
Yeah.
So it's just really tragic, and just very topsy-turvy. I'm telling you, that's why I read the notes 3 times. Clearly, I still missed something, but, I also watched several things on it because I was like, I my brain is so confused with the hitman and the
Yeah.
brother and the everyone's boyfriend's a hitman, and I'm like, "Who's not a
Ugh.
hitman in this story?" Like, if I watch this on fucking, uh, whatever, Lifetime, I don't know, any of these fucking channels, I'd be like, "That's
I
not
agree.
realistic at all." Like
I'd be like, okay, we need to like
like
stop hiring people from
AMC.
like Lifetime.
Yeah,
Like this,
please, right, it's like,
like make
this
it
is a
believable.
right, it's like, even Mad Men's more believable than this, come on, it's like, wow.
Oy.
But anyway, so I, have a, podcast discussion date with a neighbor friend of mine, so, we might have to do the yappy hour at a
That's
separate
fine.
time if that's okay, but I also already have some ideas for it because when I was sitting here, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've got my mugwort pillow, I've got Letitia Lemon, I have so many show and tells."
Well, we're recording our listeners episode on Friday. We can do it after that.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay,
Perfect.
great. Well, that was a great story, Christine. Well done. And sorry to everyone for this 2.5 hour episode, but you know what? If that's what you like, that's what you like. I hope you're having a great road trip.
I think I just knew I needed to be in bed because it would be 3 hours, and I was like, "I need to stay seated." Yeah,
Yeah.
horizontal.
Oh God, I hear this dog about to bark, so maybe we should go.
Let's bolt.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And hope to see you next week. I don't know why I wouldn't. Why did I say that? Goodbye. And
I hope to see you next week also. That's
why?
we.
Drink.
Oh God.